nobody's safe. Soon as we step out the cage, we raising all of the stakes. Make no mistake, either you stay in your place.
One of the other gems that Jasmine sent me.
Wow.
Hell yeah, dude.
Is that like performance art? That's amazing.
Okay, basically the creator just like damages the Cybertruck with like anything possible just to show how strong it is.
But it shouldn't be even taking dents. What is it made out of?
I thought
stainless steel.
I thought that was just some crazy crackhead bitch beating on some dude's shit.
Okay, so the lady in the windshield is actually an OnlyFans creator, but she goes viral just by like doing stuff like using baseball bat against the Cybertruck, shooting communication tech during the ancient times were. I cannot think of anything.
Someone would have to signal them or something.
But like that quick?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, panelists, can you guys come up with ideas?
Not that answer, Ken. Well, actually, in certain movies and TV, I always see they always shoot like fire arrows sometimes to send the signal for the army. That's usually the case. And then also being folks.
Or like smoke.
Yeah, smoke. You know, that's.
But that takes time.
Oh yeah, but yeah, like a fire arrow shooting up.
And it'll be obvious too.
Yeah, I mean it's that's where like the army knows that okay, that's our time to move in. You know, or you know, or flying
or maybe
creatures.
like it. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like
all right, Rathacon, wrap up your contribution.
You already see Seiki diffusing Toranaga, making jokes. He's like, "Oh, you got to come to your mediocre half brother." He's kind of softening him up there. Should have been suspicious of him at that point, but I wasn't. I was like, "Oh, this is great. This may actually work out." And then, I also question why Jin would tell Omi that information. It's either A, she's trying to make him feel better about his relationship with Kiku, but also she has to know he's going to run to Buntaro and tell him and get Buntaro mad because she knows everything. Like that, in her position, she's going to know all the dirt all over the place. As we'll see later in a great scene, she knows more than people think. So
that's right.
As far as the price, you're right. You get what you pay for, right? You don't want to cheap out, especially on that. So the price is good, and it's smart for Jin because she can bargain a moment of his time and a meeting with him. So everything is chess. Everybody's playing chess.
And plus, Kiku is tested. She's clean. She's STD free. They use like some kind of like rock STD test. Boat made on a boat or something or whatnot.
If you pee on this orchid and it doesn't turn brown, we're good. I don't know how they did that back then.
In the book, she has like all these crazy sex toys and shit and whatnot.
Oh, I heard about that. Yes, they're more elaborate, and it's not as like this was a lot more thoughtful than.
I know that. But me and Kim talked about the sex toys before in the past on the show. We figured they probably were like made out of sticks and shit and whatnot. Like rope.
It's true. They were back then. Like in rock.
That would be like.
Get it, baby. Yeah, winner. There you go. New sport coming to the Olympics, folks. Thanks to Rathacon himself, Top Gun, Tom Cruise over there, whatnot, everything, introduced us to this new sport they're going to be adding to the Olympics this year. As you can see, not very Shogun orientated, but definitely creative. And look, there, man. What can you say? So, panel. Before we talk about Shogun here at the MCU'S Bleeding Edge 2 channel podcast, let's get some thoughts on this new sport they're adding to the Olympics here. They don't have a name for it, or else I can't understand the language it's in. If anybody wants to create one, I'd be more than happy to hear any thoughts you have for it. I'll start with you, Aston. Aston, what are your thoughts on the new sport they're adding to the Olympics?
Oh, I ain't got a name for it. But I definitely could line up a few sponsors. That much I got.
Okay, all right. Amato, would you join? Would you participate in that new race they're doing?
I mean, I might join, but I mean, I'd say it's a little premature to say whether I should or shouldn't join this competition.
That's true. That's true. I mean, we don't really know. We're sketchy.
Being the best, to be the best at it, I mean, I would definitely have to.
Uh-oh.
I get where you're going, sir. You'd have to lower your game, basically, and whatnot and everything to win the race. Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I have to lower my game a little bit, maybe, I don't know. There'd be a lot of issues with pre-gaming with this, getting yourself going early. There'd be a lot of issues with, getting yourself started a little early.
Most definitely. What do you think, Justin? What are your thoughts on this new sport that is unnamed at this point? And we don't know the rules or anything.
Well, I thought the name was Come and Go. That's what I thought it was. But yeah, it's riveting, man. It's riveting.
Most definitely. Definitely something that you would anticipate now that you've been on the bleeding edge more than once and whatnot, everything. Nothing like that would surprise you at this point.
Oh, no, not at all.
No, definitely not Shogun orientated, but interesting. And bleeding edge style. Condenser, what are you and your sunglasses thoughts on this new Olympic sport?
I mean, the sunglasses enjoyed all the views. My eyes were just looking at the dark lenses. This new sport, I think, is great for men of the younger generation, especially since they last a lot shorter than previous generations.
They do? Where did you see that study?
I forgot where. I don't think it was Pew. It was like somewhere like it's reputable, academic oriented. Yeah.
Okay,
like,
you know what? I believe it.
Even the ladies say that too. Even the ladies.
I believe it. Dudes aren't lasting as long as they used to back in the day, back when Sean Connery was handling his business and shit and whatnot.
I mean, how about you? So do you think you can win that race, or do you think your 60-minute man will beat you?
No, sir. My stamina is just way too staunch, whatever, whatnot. It's my organic natural stamina without condoms and shit and whatnot. It's just too intense to where I would not even probably join that race. I'd have to not have sex for probably several months, just to prepare, like Amato said, to pregame and get myself in the right game, shape, to enter the race properly. And yeah, again, I'd have to have a sex with a real woman too. They'd have to swap the doll out with a real woman for me. Right? That's the way I do the race. It has to be a part of my contract.
You can get Fuji. You can get Fuji to do it.
Oh God, yes. If they asked Fuji to do it, Fuji would probably just say something about wanting to seppuku herself instead or whatever whatnot. I'm sure her response would have something to do with seppukuing or whatever whatnot. Like, okay, I'll do that, but only if I can seppuku after, right after I get done. Which is kind of a buzzkill, whatnot, everything. It's kind of a turnoff. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that a chick wants to commit suicide after you have sex with her, yeah. I love Kiko. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to, be like that with her. So, anyways, folks, look, we're here to get after it and do a Shogun full season 1. And yes, we can call it a season 1 because there is going to be a season 2. It's official. We know it for sure. They've already signed up Hiroyuki Sanada again to produce the second season. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. That'll be how we'll wrap things up. Just some final thoughts on what the second season could be like. But we can officially call this a season 1 first recap show, with the number 2 being that Saturday. Our focus is going to be on episodes 1 through 5, but I'm going to have some opening questions for the panel that are going to incorporate the whole series so that we get a little bit of everything, right? And you guys get a chance to talk about stuff that happens later on in the series too, not just in the beginning. I want to be fair about that and whatnot. Split that up between the 2 shows so everyone gets a chance, right? Now, when I go around and ask questions, feel free to, we're not doing episode reviews here, so don't feel like you have to worry about spoilers or talking ahead of me or talking ahead of my outline. Go wherever you want. Go across the map right? When we do our episode synopsis breakdown questions, if you want to go all over the fucking episode, if you want to start your answer off with the ending of the episode based off the synopsis question, go ahead, have at it. Folks, we are the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. We ask that you consider liking, following on whatever platform you find us on, subscribing, and turning on all notifications on YouTube so that you're aware when we're live or when we drop new content. Besides that, please support all the other creators that we have here on the show. We'll do plugs at the end. They all make their own content except for Wrath of Khan. But we'll pull his plugs up too because he is on his way to becoming a ex-pro, economic advisor or some shit like that, right? So we'll definitely pull up his stock market tips type stuff. In the meantime, I want to welcome for the first time to the show, Aston. Aston's his first show with the Bleeding Edge. So, woohoo! Congratulations to you, sir. Amato, your first show with us, brother. Woo! You got a big hats off to you.
Yeah. It's awesome to be on. Yeah, it's awesome to be on. I was a little jealous to see my other podcast mates to get a chance to get on before me, but I'm glad to be joining now.
I don't blame you for being jealous. Shogun is a lot of fun to talk about, and I'd be jealous too, probably, to be completely honest with you. I never really thought about that and whatnot, but that makes sense that you would have been. I'm sure you were probably envious of watching Justin being able to let loose, the first show he did with us on Shogun, he looked like he was Go ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to review it on our own podcast, so it's really cool to be able to get into a little bit of this stuff. Although I probably would have been murdered if I had come on the first time we had come because it was me and my wife's anniversary that day. So you got to make life affirming decisions when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Well, honestly, I don't know if everybody else noticed this besides me, but a lot of people were shocked by Shogun, and so a lot of people didn't cover it. There are a lot of YouTubers and podcasters that just didn't cover it because it wasn't on their radar, right? When I would go through on YouTube and I would look up episode recaps, right, for my own research purposes, because that's how I do some of my research. Is just other YouTubers that I trust or that have good numbers. Or that I've known from in the past, I watched their stuff, their recaps, and not that many YouTubers actually jumped in and actually did episode recaps. There were only a few that did, So I think Shogun kind of surprised some people, right? And I think that's kind of why has probably something to do with why they. Oh yes, and by the way, Amato, happy anniversary to you and your wife as well, sir.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I think FX was a little bit shocked. And that's why this whole season 2 thing just kind of came out of nowhere. Because I think they didn't even guesstimate probably how well received and highly reviewed and critically reviewed the show would do across the board. So,
for sure.
To start off, just to kind of get us in the right mood for Shogun, I'm going to go ahead and play a trailer. These Shogun trailers are fucking give me chills, man. They literally do. They give me chills every time I watch them. So I'm going to go ahead and drop one to get us in the right mood. And then we'll have at it and get after it.
Maybe fate brought you here for a reason. Maybe you'll live long enough to find out what it is. I will die in this wretched land.
My master asks what you seek here.
To vanquish our common enemies. Dear God, you don't know their games.
Yamemasurka?
このホーラと共に血を流さんと奮い立っておるぞ。
己の敵の正体が分かっておらぬのじゃ。
出陣やむなし。The ultimate rank a mortal can achieve. Shogun.
Now, I will play another trailer later on in the show, but I just want to go around and ask you guys. I think the trailers are a good place to talk about the score. So I'll start with you, Justin, and then I'll go over to you, Amato, right after Justin wraps up. And then I'll go to you, Aston, and we'll let Wrath of Khan wrap up. Justin, what did you think of the score overall? It's something that we didn't really heavily talk about a lot, really, in some of the episode reviews and whatnot. There's so many things to get into, right? That some things kind of fall to the wayside sometimes. We've mentioned it. We've talked about it during episodes. But in the trailers, I really feel like it's a really good spot for it to shine, right? The score.
Yeah, the score. And I mean, in the trailers alone, like it sets the tone. Like it kind of gives that adrenaline boost. Like you are, it's crazy because the show does not have a lot of action, but like you are on like the edge of your seat. You have a adrenaline high, like you're on cocaine, like the entire time. And a lot of it has to do with the score. Like each episode, like it just like it builds the intensity of each scene, and even like the cultural instruments that they use, like some of like the harp type stuff that they use. I forget what they call that in Japan, but yeah, no, the score is absolutely fantastic, man. It gets you right in the right mood, just ready to go.
Yeah, it definitely does. What do you think, Amato? What are your thoughts?
I think it creates this epicness to the entire universe that they're building. And I personally believe that overall in like the TV universe, we're kind of in a golden age of like music and soundtracks. I feel like there's just so much good audio music scores going on right now in all of TV, and Shogun is just like the next step in that. What I'm thinking right now is like a golden age of our time.
That's very well put, actually, and I would agree with you 100%. This isn't just Shogun. This is something that you're seeing, you know, like with a lot of series. Sometimes some TV series that aren't even that good, that aren't even like close to the quality of Shogun, have really great music and really great scores. Oh, we lost Wrath of Khan. I guess his Top Gun sunglasses must have thrown off his Wi-Fi connection, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, like some of the Marvel stuff.
No, could have been. It could have been. Aston, sir, what are your thoughts on the score, sir?
But yeah, like some of the Marvel stuff, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and like things like that. Secret Invasion even had like really good soundtracks. They weren't the shows weren't necessarily all that great in some points, but you know their soundtracks were really solid.
We haven't, just so you know, folks, the reason why, like, if there might be a little confusion at times and whatnot with the audio or us talking over each other, there's just a little bit of a delay going on right now between some of our audio. So, Aston, going to you this time. What were your thoughts on the score, sir?
I would say the instrumentation was really spot on when it comes to like from the ambience to getting you into it. I wish episodes were a little bit longer, or we got more, episodes, because it's great. Like I didn't expect like FX and Hulu to deliver something this good, when it comes to, among other things. But yes, I would say the score and the soundtrack it's there. They didn't try go the pop route and come with like some sort of crossover sort of record to maybe push it. They just really, I don't know who's responsible for it, but great.
That would be Atticus Ross. Leopold Ross. I'd imagine that they're brothers. And then Nick Chuba. So they had 3 different composers, not 1, but 3 that all were involved in the score, in the series. So we lost Rep the Con for a minute, whatnot. He's having internet issues. So I'll get back to him when he comes back. But opening off, just to start things up, with our first question, off my outline, I believe the first thing I wanted to go ahead and ask you guys was which episodes, if you had to pick 3 out of the 10 total, would be your top 3 overall across the board of the series, overall. And then, of course, why? I'll start with you, Amato, let you lead off. Then I'll go to Aston, and I'll go to you, Justin, and hopefully Wrath of Khan will be back to wrap it up by then. But just, for you, Amato, again, just to state it again, which episodes, if you had to pick 3 of the 10, right? I know it's hard. You don't have to rank them in order. You can if you want, but you don't have to, would be your top 3 episodes out of the 10.
I would say my top 3 episodes would be Crimson Sky, episode 9, the Eightfold Path, which was the Eightfold Fence, which is episode 4, and then the episode 2, Servants of Two Masters. If I were to do my 3 episodes, and I just love the way there's lots of times where episodes where like Mariko is like really kind of the forefront, and you like learned a lot about her. And I felt like she was just, Anna Sawai was just such a force through the entire show. And she really shined those episodes. You got to see a lot of, her range and her skill and the way that she just like was sparring with people verbally and then sometimes physically, in those moments. And she just was, in my mind, she was an elite actress and character throughout the entire show line.
Okay, sorry about that. I muted myself there for a minute. I believe I could be wrong, but I believe 2 out of the 3 episodes you just picked, Justin. What I was talking about in the private chat is those were episodes that were directed by Frederick E. Otoy, the ones that you picked. 2 out of the 3. I believed he was the best director out of all of them, probably in the series. He directed episode 10, 9, Crimson Sky. He also did episode 5, Broken to the Fist, 4, The Eightfold Fence, like you picked. And that was it. Those are the ones he did. Besides that, we had Jonathan Van Token that did Engine, episode 1. Jonathan Van Token that did episode 2. Charlotte Brandstrom did Tomorrow is Tomorrow, episode 3. Otoy did 4, and Otoy did 5. Since we are going to be focusing on episode 5, I just wanted to lay that out. And then it was Hiromi Kamada that stepped in for episode 6, Ladies of the Willow World. So, going over to you, I believe I said over to you, Aston, then to you, Justin. Aston, what episodes would you pick, sir, out of the 10? Which 3 would be yours?
I got them here in my notes. Honestly, I would say the first one and the last 2. The Eightfold Fence, amazing how they translated that from the book. Like it felt really authentic, as well as Broken to the Fist, episode 5. Those were like, I feel the stakes really got a little higher, and you just, I liked like the first episode to me, and the last 2 out of the 5. I feel those are the ones which would get a lot of folks invested into it. I mean, I love the story, yeah. Like I read this joint, bro.
Yeah, most definitely.
Big ass book, bro. I'm not gonna, no lie, big ass paperback.
I can see the size of it and whatnot and everything. And I'll tell you, honestly, if it's unfortunate, but if I had known you before we started Shogun, we would have loved to have had you on a couple of the episode reviews, just to bring that book knowledge to the recaps, because none of us read the book.
No worries, guys. You guys had social lives in high school, okay?
Well, it's always good to have somebody on the panel, whatnot, at least, when you're covering something like Fallout that's played the games. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So we did try to talk about the book here and there, but not having the knowledge about it really, except for the stuff that we would hear online. You know, it really didn't come up that much. But those are some really interesting picks. You know, I knew that we would have some all across the board kind of picks here, right? That's, you know, how the game works. But I was very surprised you picked episode 1 and 10. I did not see those episodes ending up being picked at all in this.
No. I think you said you said to pick 3, and it was the first and 4 and 5 out of the 5 because I thought we were focusing on 5.
Oh no, you can pick out of the whole 10.
I mean, I ain't get past 6, so I ain't doing that. Like I didn't.
Oh, okay, all right. Did you say episode 10?
No, I didn't get past episode 6. Like, because I watched 2 of them today back to back. Like,
so what were your picks then from 1 through 5?
1 and 4 and 5. Like, because I thought it was like hey, it's like 3. What time is it out here? I think it's like damn near. Yeah, it's past 4 in the morning. So if I'm a little hazy and stuff, that's kind of why I got the shades. I ain't trying to be cooler than school. It's like it's hella late out here, guys. It's like that's like the place is a mess, you know. And I'm super thrilled to be here. It's like this is my first time doing anything like this. Like I usually do music, I rap alongside. I had podcasts, I had radio shows. So Jeff was kind enough to like allow me to step in and hang out with you guys on a weekend, and it's
you're doing fine, brother. You're doing fine. You got caught up. You watched the show. You grinded through and got through episode 5. We're happy for that. So you did fine, sir. Let me go over to you, Justin. What were your 3 picks out of the top 10 out of the 10 episodes?
Okay, yeah. Mine, I would have to say Broken to the Fist, episode 5, like we've already mentioned here before. And then Ladies of the Willow World. I really, just that brothel scene was just incredible, man. That brothel scene was phenomenal.
Ladies of the Willow World is a great episode.
It really is. And then I'm going to have to agree with Crimson Sky, because Crimson Sky was like, obviously Mariko's swan song, but it was amazing. Like she carried that entire episode. And then she even got, she threw, she stole the thunder from
Ashido, yeah.
Yep. And which was great, which is fantastic. And yeah, she had to flex her muscles in that episode as well. So, but
I know,
World, so fantastic too.
Isn't it almost like to give you chills in the trailer when you don't know and then you do know what's going on when Toranaga asks her, right? Like, you ready? Are you ready for like your mission or whatever, everything? And she says, I'm ready. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, like it's almost gives me chills, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, before I even knew what had happened, once I knew what it meant, it meant more. You know what I mean? So when I watch the trailer now, I'm like chills going down my spine and shit. Like literally. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, seriously, if you could give an individual MVP award, Aston, I'm sorry to spoil anything for you. I apologize, but you had to know that was going to happen on the show. But I got to tell you, if anybody deserved an individual MVP for one episode out of that 10 episode series for their acting, performance, everything, it was Anasawi. Man, she fucking destroyed it in episode 9. She just fucking killed it. You know,
heavyweight, true heavyweight. She was so good.
Oh yeah, and honestly, there's things not even now that I didn't notice during the show that I'm noticing now doing research for these shows, having to do with the things that maybe you didn't pay attention to. Where if you go back and look at the beginning of the opening first couple episodes of the show, Anasawi's character never meets eyes with Toranaga at first. She always looks at his throat or right above his chest whenever she speaks to him and addresses him. It's only across the span of the series that you see her actually lift her head here and there and actually make eye contact with him when he speaks. And it's only to make a point when she wants to make some kind of point, right? Or like when it's a serious thing. You know what I'm saying? With Blackfoot, black ass, she always looks him in the eyes because he's nobody, right? Like she'll have to respect his ass. He's Blackfoot, right? He's the fucking the engine or whatnot, the fucking the animal. So like she just looks him right in the eye. But did you never notice that like literally with Toranaga, she always looks down for the most part whenever she speaks to him?
Yeah, true respect. Yeah, she fully understands his power and his place and her place in the world as well.
I thought that she did a really good job too, pulling off the authenticity that was demanded by her role. Her role demanded probably more authenticity other than maybe Toranaga's. You know, and if anybody has any thoughts on that, before we move on, you know, on questions, Aston, I know you didn't see episode 9, but Amato, if you have anything to say on that, or Justin, have at it.
Let's go to Amato. Delay.
I would say like especially in episode 9, especially with episode 9, like the way that she just eviscerated Ishido when they were having that conversation. She was just so like, she was so calm in the way that she was attacking, but she was also so like, everything was dripping with just like venom and just this, you know, control that she had of the situation. And it was just enthralling. Like she really pulled you in that episode so much. She was just like, just constantly just essentially undressing Ishido's character in front of everyone.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, man. She like commanded the room, and she was the powerhouse. And even though Ishido was like he was the power at that time, right, for where they were at, and she just walked into his front door and just freaking crapped on him. It was so good, beautiful.
Most definitely, and you know, I do feel bad for you, Aston. I'm sorry if we do. I really do genuinely feel bad. I'm sorry if the 3 of us and then 4 of us, whenever my little brother decides to get his internet issues on and come back, he's probably just trying to like fix his hair and shit and whatnot, and make sure he looks good enough, whatever, whatnot, right? Because he came on the show and whatnot and saw all these studs on here and whatnot and shit and all that, and that's why I had to get the sunglasses, because he was like, oh shit, like these dudes are more handsome than me and shit and whatnot. They're all older than me. They got beards and shit and whatnot. I can't even grow facial hair. I gotta stop. I'm busting my little brother's balls too hard now. I'm sorry, Jassim. I mean it with love, brother. You know, if anybody tells you I was talking shit about you behind your back, brother, it was meant in love. I promise. You put those sunglasses on. You had it coming, bro. And if you come back on the show with those fuckers on too, I'm gonna bust you open, kid. Just so you know. I'm gonna start right off and just bust you right open, bro. You're gonna right off the bat. But that's okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yes, he's not ready. When he comes back, he's not gonna be ready. It's gonna be good.
Oh no, you know, he's so like youthful, you know, not everything and all that and whatnot, and like so sweet and innocent almost. It's funny. It's so funny that he comes up, that seeing him on the shows. It's funny, just so funny how we have such people that come on here that are so contrasting to my personality and like my sort of gutter, you know, language and whatnot and everything, and the, you know, sort of shtick and all that and whatnot. Complete opposite lifestyles, you know, personalities, demeanors and whatnot, but still like to come on and fucking like, you know, get down with me and whatnot and everything and come on the bleeding edge. I see it as like a major compliment, you know, because I get it that like I'm a like it or hate it kind of guy. I figured that out a long time ago. But hey, you will respect me, motherfucker, or I'll put my sunglasses on like fucking Jassim. You feel me? And I'll fucking pull down my pants and show you my fucking Yabu loincloth and shit and whatnot, and my bulge. So how about that shit? That's how I'm gonna end the show. I'm gonna seppuku and show do my loincloth bulge shot right at the end of the show.
Oh, the fans are anticipating that moment.
Yeah, maybe I'll do my loincloth bulge shot at the end of this show, and then I'll recap part show 2. That's when I'll do my seppuku, right? But it'll be like a pussy one though. Like I'll go to do it, and like the knife will just bounce off of me, like black ass, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, those of you like Amato and Aston who are new to the fold of the Shogun universe of the Bleeding Edge, Justin already knows we have many names for Blackthorn. We call him Blackfoot, Black Ass, Blackie, fucking, you know what I'm saying, Blackbeard, just because he's very easily made fun of, you know,
little bit.
So, yeah. He's a funny character sometimes. Not as funny as Yabu though. Yabu is the man. He's the one that brings the humor. There's a good side question for y'all. I'll go to you, Amato, and then over to you, Justin, and you, Aston. Who brings the humor on Shogun? What character brings the humor to Shogun?
For me, Yobashiga is probably the funniest character, which is like he always has these moments of just like kind of he doesn't always understand what's going on. He's just so perplexed at moments, and he just looks. He's essentially, in a lot of ways, he's almost like the audience in some ways, because he's like looking around, like, what is going on? Like he has no idea what's going on half the time. He's constantly trying to find essentially alliances with whoever, whoever will take him in. He's trying to find whoever will, take him in and bring him into a higher position.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely Yabashigi for sure. He brings the humor throughout the whole entire series, and I think it was either episode 2 or 3 where he's on the boat and he's talking to Toranaga, and his response is like, "I assume it's proper for you to commit seppuku at once." Like he just like drops that like casually, and it's like to Toranaga of all people. Like just, I mean, it's great. And then I mean, with him, the actor who plays him too, like he was Hogan in Thor. And so, like, just seeing him in this light now is just like it's good. It's good to see.
I saw him do an interview, a very short interview today, doing what I was doing my show research, with a translator, and he seems like a really amiable, decent guy. Really, really interesting. You wish he could speak English, almost kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's Yabo. You know what I'm saying? But like he definitely in real life, as a person, as a man, does not act or talk or seem like Yabu. He's not like Yabu.
Yeah.
That's not like that. He does not have that kind of personality. What do you think, Aston? Who brings the fucking thunder when it comes to the humor on Shogun? There's very little bit of it.
I mean, it would have to be Yabo, because like the way he just be switching mid conversation on somebody, and for it not to take you out, like it'll give you a laugh, but it doesn't take you out of the immersion. And like you said, it's not the funniest show, really. Like there's not too many gags in it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with the previous statements and entries.
He's almost like me. He's almost like me. It's crazy. I've never said this before, but he's almost like the me of Shogun. Like he'll say anything to fucking anybody. You know what I mean? Like he's crazy. You can know he's crazy, right?
But the way he keeps a straight face, like they did it in like such a subtle way, like because they knew when they were editing that shit, like when they're in the cutting room, they were sitting there like, yo, like we're taking this take, like it has to be this one where he's like kind of half smiling.
He's so dope though. He's the feudal Japanese version of one of those, of that crazy kind of guy like I am. Where like we'll just fight a dude, like whatever, like you know what I'm saying, like in public or some shit right in front of people, like if they cross the line or some shit, just fight somebody. That kind of shit. Yabu would do that, right? We all know that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If Yabu was in our real time right now, he'd do the same kind of shit I do, right? Like, seriously. He'd fight some dude at a Walmart parking lot or whatever for just saying some shit to him. Yabu would just jack him.
You
know what I'm saying?
Like he is survival. Yeah. Like he's like
Yabu ain't about words when it comes down to getting down. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to getting down, he gets down. Like he don't talk.
He's
right?
ready. Yeah, he's ready. He's ready when he needs to be.
Oh yeah, he gets down when he has to get down. Like he don't play around. He ain't all talk behind the street and shit and whatnot. So yeah, Yabu would jack some motherfuckers up. And he's crazy as fuck too, right? Like you got to be crazy to fucking like have an escort or whatever prostitute in your room and shit, and whatnot, and everything, and like literally be so disinterested in that shit that like literally like the only thing that it turns you on about the situation is watching your fucking nephew banger or whatever in front of you. That's interesting to you.
Oh, I know, man. That scene is so awkward. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really said,
bro, try reading that shit, bro. Try reading that shit. Like you get to skip on like FX. You can't when you read it, you can't skip, bro.
I can't even imagine it. I can't imagine the depth to that those kind of scenes, like that, those things in the book. The depth of them, man. You know what I mean, and whatnot, right? Yeah. No, we've talked about the fact that it was in one of the videos that the like the sex scenes and like the scenes that are done in the story where they're with that one prostitute and that brothel without everything, right, is a lot bigger and a lot more stuff goes on in the book than what they showed on the show. There just wasn't space. God bless you, bro. There was no space for it in 10 episodes. So we'll have to see if adding a second season will allow them to delve more into the book. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot, I would imagine that they would. But did anybody have anything to say?
I mean,
I just wanted to check.
Well, yeah, but this the second season, I'm interested to see like how much further they can bring the story out for Anjin and like where they go with him. Like it's gonna be interesting to see.
Well, let's say, like I said, let's save that for the end of the show. I think it's a good end of show, like little chat to have to wrap things up. You know, I think it makes sense in order to kind of like talk season 2 at the end. But I have some thoughts on it too, whatnot, everything. It's very new that the concept of them doing it just happened. So like it's kind of hard to to take it into this point and whatnot and project. But so my next question on the list. Oh, and Wrath of Khan, his power went out. He lives in California, right? Okay. Anybody who knows anything about California knows that they have issues with power outages, whatnot, everything, right? Especially depending on where you live. So yeah, his power went out. It's happened to him before on the show. When it comes back on, he'll come back on. Sorry, Wrath of Khan, we love you, brother. He loves talking about Shogun too. I feel bad for him. So basically, top 3 characters in episodes 1 through 5. I'm going to start with you, Aston. I'll let you go first. Then I'll go to you, Amato, and then to you, Justin. Top 3 characters, episodes 1 through 5, in no specific order. Or if you're going to put them in order, just state that, right? And then deep dive on why. Feel free to expound on why you're picking these 3 characters from episodes 1 through 5 as main catalyst characters that really drive the story for you personally, individually. Aston, you go first.
For me, like Blackthorn's like I'm kind of biased, but I like his portrayal. He's not totally incompetent. Like I like his portrayal so far, but like number 1 would have to be Yoshi, bro. Like he is the guy. He's like the Clint Eastwood.
Wait a minute. Does that mean that you are ranking your picks, sir, by saying that number 1?
He's my dude. Like he can do no wrong. Like
okay,
he is like. He is the last samurai in the flesh, like Keanu Reeves made Ronin to put his ass in it. Okay. That's all that was,
That's true.
All that, like the guy is like his performances, like he, like just the scene, like where he was learning how to dive on his head and stuff like that. And like just the how he was making like his subtle power, like it's just that was
a great scene. I forgot about the diving scene, man. That's a great fucking scene. That's one thing that's nice about having you on, Aston, is that you just freshly watched all of these episodes, right? And everything and whatnot. We all watched them a while back. You know what I'm saying? So like it's nice to have your fresh take kind of of it, whatnot. But who else do you got, brother? You dropped 2. You said that Yoshi's your number 1. Right.
Okay. Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna sound super cheesy, man. Like, it's got to be Mariko, man. Like, it's like because, I mean, the one thing I don't like, one thing which it does throw me off, though. Like,
why would it be cheesy? Why would Mariko be cheesy? Just to be this, I'm just wondering.
Because like I feel like. And it's kind of maybe a pacing.
She's billed as one of the top 3 main characters of the.
No, she's fire. Like her character is fire. I just wish they had like maybe 2 more episodes because like there's some really early on stuff like about the character which is like amazing. Like because I feel the reveal in the 4th episode, I believe. Like I was like, oh, that is so down. Like understated, and there was a lot more of that inner conflict. She's definitely my 3rd character. Like love like her performance is there.
Who was I forget who was number 2.
Number 2 was Blackthorn, Yoshi.
Blackthorn. Okay, so you got Yoshi, Blackthorn, and Mariko. So basically, the top 3 build actors of the series and whatnot, everything are your picks. No, that's cool. That makes sense. And you actually are ranking them and whatnot, everything. You got Blackfoot number 2, Toranaga number 1, and you got Mariko number 3. There's nothing cheesy about that, dude. Mariko you haven't watched the whole season yet. Like seriously, you don't even know yet about Mariko, right? Like so just wait. You know what I'm saying? Like believe me, they're gonna service her character a lot. But what else? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What else did you have to say about your picks?
With me, it was a tough choice because like. I mean, we're all around the same age. So we grew up with like, I would say the best era of like Japanese cinema, Hong Kong, those action flicks. So like seeing a lot of these guys get a real shot, like, it's like they gave us nostalgia for something most people never watched, never read, because because Shogun is like this, like that's 70s, bro. That's way too old for us to have even, you know, like stumbled upon that. Like nobody had the box set of, like, I don't know nobody with the box set of that. So to have these great actors, like, it's just like, well, like I would have to agree with Amato where he was saying there is some sort of a golden age, like, you know, because we wouldn't get this sort of volume that we've gotten when it comes to quality of certain productions. They wouldn't have got a shot. Whereas here we got a really big budget show, which works. Like it just, like those guys, it's like a flashback to me, like all the kung fu movies, all those action movies, Old Boy, all that, like just except in like a really high class thing that you can like watch with the girlfriend on the couch and be like, yo, this is deep.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good. I agree.
Hell yeah. There's nothing like watching the fucking the sex scene with Yabu watching with your girlfriend, man. You know what I'm saying? Not so you can like get some ideas going, get some conversation going. You know what I'm saying? You know?
That's when I tell her to get the sandwich. Okay, go make a sandwich. Okay, and then I just keep complaining the longer the scene goes. Like, why you put pickles?
So I don't know if you didn't hear about it or whatever. Just like you didn't hear about you didn't hear about that new Olympic event, but like it's actually illegal now to actually say that to women. You can't just say make me a sandwich. They made it illegal, sir.
Uh-oh.
At least in the U.S. What was that, Amato?
I said it makes it real difficult to go to Subway.
I know, seriously.
Snap. Like,
I know. Yep. When you go to Subway, you've got to actually ask for a male employee to walk up to like get a sandwich or whatever, whatnot. Because if you ask the female employee to make you a sandwich, it's illegal.
Listen, I don't want no dude giving me a foot long of nothing. Pause.
Me neither. Me neither, sir. Unless it's multi racial, for diversity purposes. As long as the foot longers are black, brown, white, blue, and green. You know, as long that I'm okay with it. Anyways, sir, I believe that I said I would go to you next, Justin. Justin, along with the question on the characters, were you shocked that Andres, the pop culture guy, revealed that Shaquille O'Neal was actually in Shogun?
Oh man, that reveal was that was something, man. Like I had no idea until he revealed it. I was like, oh yeah, Shaq. He's right. He was right there the whole time. Like I know. I mean, it was fantastic to see. So I mean, he's got to be number one, right? Like
I know it made for a really good joke for like a long time too. Like the whole Shaquille O'Neal being in the Shogun thing. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's still great. It's still great. It's all because he couldn't even remember a name of one of the actors.
Andres, he butchered some names on Shogun, bro.
It's so bad.
It was rough, bro. We love the guy. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot. We love you, Andres. You know what I mean? Whatnot. No one's talking shit about you, bro. I promise. But like, you butcher some names, dude. you be butchering. Anyways, he calls us Ahsoka or some shit. Remember he was calling Jasmine.
Yeah, Jasmine.
Oh man, that was funny. Yeah. All right. So Justin, what are your picks, brother? What you got? Are you gonna go balls out like Aston and actually rank your shit, or are you gonna just do your shit loose?
I'm gonna go loose. I don't think I have a definitive. Like I feel like if I do definitive, it would be through episodes 1 through 10 because like there's a lot of heavy arcs in the back end of the season that really builds characters. But yeah, okay. So I'm Toranaga, obviously. Toranaga is he's fantastic. Like I said, no particular order. His presence and his command and like his strategies, man. Like his mind, it works on a whole other level. Like he is just like he's a thinker. Like no matter what the situation is, he's got a plan and an idea for something, man. It's great to see. So Toranaga for sure. I would definitely say Yabashigi as well. I mean, just the humor aspect of it, but then like his willingness to survive, like his drive to survive, no matter what he has to do, whether it's like helping Toranaga or like Ishido, like going back to him, like it's really
tough. It's tough not to put Yabu on your top on the list for episodes 1 through 5 anyway.
Yeah. And then also like within the first 5 episodes, like Fuji comes strong, man.
Fuji,
like,
yeah, oh yeah, good call.
Definitely. Like especially like the torment she has to deal with in those first episode and a half. Like it's so brutal, man.
So is that what
like,
you're gonna rock with? You're gonna rock with Toranaga, Fuji, and Yabu?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh man, yo, that's a fucking strong list, bro. Keep talking. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's a good list.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. But yeah, Fuji. Gosh, man, especially like the gun scene too, where like she.
You know how I feel about Fuji, Justin.
Oh, I know. Oh yeah, I'm talking to you, man. This is for you. But yeah, Fuji, fantastic. And then like Blackthorn, you got to get him in there because he's very pivotal to the storyline. And like. I would round it off with Mariko in the first 5. She really is something elite.
If you have to take 3 out of that 5, what are your 3?
I will stick with Fuji, Yabushigi, and Toranaga. I'll stick with those 3.
That's strong. I like that. That's a good one. You surprised me on that one. Amato, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah. So I'm probably just gonna throw out the 3. I'm not gonna rank them or anything like that. I'd say Mariko was. I feel like she was phenomenal, especially from the very jump. Everything that she was doing was just. She was so good at being subtle and giving. She did so much with her body language and her her looks and everything that she was doing with that. And she was also, you kind of forget the fact that she's one of the few characters that's actually speaking in both English and Japanese, like so she's switching back all the time. She's acting in both languages way more than anyone else, So, and she carries the character on both ends, I believe. It's not like she's significantly better when she's speaking in Japanese or significantly better when she's speaking in English. I feel like she does such a good job of she's believable as the character in both versions. So I felt like that she was so awesome in that. And then, I mean, I think Toranaga, like especially I'd say he'd be the next one I'm going to go with. Of course, and I feel like with him, I almost kind of get a feeling that he was almost sort of like a Ned Stark at the beginning. He was trying to play Ned Stark in the sense of like he's this super honorable dude who doesn't want the position of power. I feel like that's kind of how he wanted to be seen in this universe. And he kind of plays. He kind of. Goes off the rails a little bit, but I think in the first 5 episodes, I think that that's kind of like the vein that he was going for as his outward facing, his outward facing heart, as he was, as it would say it, the heart that he would show to everyone. And then I would say the third one, I really enjoyed Takuma's character, his second, like his high ranking general, like just the amount of like loyalty he had in the moments that, he was one of the few people that actually was kind of cut through some of Toranaga's, BS in a lot of ways. And was, very much, it was so important to getting the story and being that solid rock second. And, just 2 little, as an honorable mention, Fuji was amazing. And I actually really enjoyed just one last one, like the Spaniard character. I felt like he did a really good job of being a counter to Blackthorn.
I think that's great that you mentioned Hiramatsu. I had to actually completely honestly, I'm very off the cuff when it comes to these things. I forgot to do my episodes myself. I'm going to do them in a minute when you get wrapped up, Amato. I'm going to do my episode picks and whatnot, and then I'll do my character picks. But basically, I always do all my ranking stuff off the cuff, right? When we do shows, whenever we do ranking anything. Right. I never write anything down ahead of time or anything like that and whatnot, because my opinions change and they're so fluid. Right. So I'd rather just wait. And then I like to hear other people talk too before me. Right. And see what they pick when they rank like MCU movies or something like that, or the Disney Plus series or some shit hypothetically for the year. It's interesting. It influences you. So I'm glad you mentioned Hiramatsu because he really does come strong in episodes 1 through 5 and whatnot and everything. Right. And if you hadn't brought him up, honestly, I probably wouldn't have either myself. Nobody would have picked it.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please,
especially like he gives a lot of like secondary layers to Toranaga because.
Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, like he's like a secondary layer to Toranaga because of the fact that because he's the only person that kind of knew him when he was younger. It seems like from the series, essentially, beginning, he's the only one that knew him from when he was very young. Everyone else had such reverence for him as a character, and although he very much was the second and was very loyal to him, like to the end, as you see. But he was there from the beginning. Like he saw everything that actually happened as he was growing up, and saw him as more than just this lord. He saw him as a human being as well.
Well, and let me bat this around off of you, Aston, and then I'll go around everybody. I think that the friendship between Hiramatsu and Toranaga is actually beautiful. It's actually one of the probably greatest components of the story through episodes 1 through 5. But in terms of for what it is, you know what I'm saying, in contrast to the rest of what you get out of Shogun, right? There's not many friendships in Shogun, right? You know what I'm saying? That's a real friendship, So what are your thoughts on that, Aston?
I would feel that when you have such rich source material and such good actors, they can bring it across so much better than we would expect. That's because to me, it's hard to even consider this a television show. This is like some sort of high class mini series, like from back when we were younger, like an event of maybe 4 episodes and that's it. That's what was like reserved for something of this kind of scope. So like the friendship, I feel, it does well to show, I believe, the duality of that position of leadership or just trying to find yourself in this ongoing, like, just shit show. Like, the way you see this person just by episode 5, it's just hopeless. Like, it's like no one has anywhere to turn, but they remain. Like, the bond is there. Like, still, it hasn't broken entirely, like it's still, and in the book, like they're like, I just wish they had a little more time with these characters, because Toranaga, like he also forgives things you wouldn't expect him to. Like
he's he is actually very forgiving. Yes.
Like, but when he let his like little, what was it, his nephew or some shit, like just slide like that, I was like, yo, like he didn't even really tell him off like as harsh as in the book. In the book, it was like pretty like. But that's the thing. Like, I believe Justin said it, like the command, like that. I feel it's a friendship that also has like so much like respect on top of it. You know what I mean? But I would say one way. So that also is conveyed in a good way where it isn't someone taking advantage of another, like you guys also have like some really awesome takes. So sometimes I'll just zone out listening to you guys. So my bad.
When I first met Justin, I think I called him by the wrong name. Didn't I, Justin?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's how we started our friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, so basically it wasn't good. It wasn't going so well. It was very one-sided. I felt like I was Justin's friend, and Justin was like, this motherfucker just called me by fucking the wrong name. Like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? You know what I'm saying?
It worked itself out. Yeah.
Like he's already crazy as fucking shit and whatnot. And everything. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this guy, and he can't even fucking get my name right. Like, I don't know about this. But you know what? But we worked it out, baby. Dr. Phil style and whatnot and everything. And now we have this wonderful relationship. It's like Toranaga and Hiramatsu. So what do you think, Justin? It's a wonderful friendship, isn't it, to watch unfold?
Oh, yeah. It really is. And I think, I mean, you said it best. Like, it's the relationship, like it means so much. It really does. Oh, Yaso's back. Hey, welcome back, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Power's out, so I'm at the library now.
Oh, wow, you went quick.
Yeah, it's like 30-minute drive, along with changing, getting the Wi-Fi ready.
Where are your sunglasses at, bro? Did the bearded lady grab them off you and whatnot while you guys were making out during your break?
I can't see now when I wear sunglasses inside.
I can see the bearded lady making a move like that and whatnot, everything, right? You get done making out, they just grab your fucking sunglasses, take them off you. I think for now on, Jasmine, your intro music is always
no
going
one's gonna marry you, Haranam. Like, you have a beard. No one's gonna date you, Haranam. You have a beard. No one's gonna be your boyfriend, Haranam. You have a beard. You are not a preference to a lot of men. And then I'll get
and I took your sunglasses, bitch.
Message me, but that's not who I'm attracted to. Hannah, I like really masculine men because I am very soft. I'm so different to what you see, like on TV. You know, on TV.
I've never seen you on TV.
Have you not? But no, generally you'll see. Oh, she's strong. She's, you know, what she's talking about is very powerful. Whatever.
What the fuck on TV am I supposed to be compared to you about?
You know, I'm very feminine. I'm very soft. People don't get to see that side of me. You know?
You're very feminine? Oh my god.
But no, it has been difficult. Where I wanted to be married and have kids.
How you want to?
I think her Nad's version of femininity is definitely a little askew compared to mine. I gotta be honest with you.
Just a little, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay, Justin. You could have worse intro music than that, you know. Andre's Pop Culture Guy has that Dr. Phil Pocahontas chick or whatnot, everything that like she shares a soul with Pocahontas and shit and whatnot. Like that's pretty rough.
I thought his intro is the NASCAR.
No, that's just the video that he likes. The one with the bitches with the titties and all that, the chicks with their titties and shit. He just likes that one. But that's not actually his intro music or whatnot and all that. No, he just likes that shit. No, I think I got rid of his actual intro music because there was no point in playing it anymore. Anything Dr. Phil related, you automatically get hit with a copyright on fucking YouTube immediately. Dr. Phil don't play, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't play with that shit. You can't be using this shit. You know, but you know what? Justin, I got some new shit, man. Check this out.
I'm about that life. Ask P. Diddy. I just came from his house, even though I'm feeling funny after drinking P. Diddy juice. Wait, what the fuck? What's happening here?
Hey, there you go. I don't know what the fuck happened. That's very well said. That guy is funny as shit with that. What the fuck? That guy was drinking P. Diddy juice.
Y'all see how Drake just slid out that video of like Diddy like whooping on his girl and she just slid that shit out?
Bro, how did that little black dude fucking manage to land at that angle and hit that fucking rack or whatnot? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it. Like how he deviated in that direction. But Amato, sir, what are your thoughts going back to you and everything going on? Since you originated the question essentially with your contribution, what are your thoughts on the friendship? You know, because I think that's one thing that we never even talked about in any of the recaps with the episodes, right? Is the friendship between the two characters, Hiramatsu and Yoshi.
I think it's a really important relationship because essentially, so Mariko brings up the idea of the 3 different hearts that people have. And so like Toranaga, he has his heart that he shows to everyone, which is like this, I don't want to be Shogun. I don't want to be Shogun. You know, I don't want that position. And then at the very end, you see his secret heart, which I want to be Shogun. And I feel like essentially that middle heart, the one you only show to friends, is only ever seen by in this relationship, because I think that's the only person in the entire like show that he's really like friends with. You know, everyone else is a vassal of his or, you know, an enemy of his or an acquaintance, but it's never actually like an actual like friendship. And I think that's the only time you see that middle heart that, you know, that she brings up when she's talking about the 3 hearts within that relationship. So you get to see it rounds out the character of Toranaga by using this this character to show that.
Yeah, the only other friendship I can think of offhand in episodes 1 through 5 that's really there that you know of is Omi and Toranaga's son are buddies, right?
Yeah, but even that's like, kind of a weird relationship because like
they're friends.
Yeah, it's true. But like Omi and Toranaga, like I feel like he views, was it Narakanata or whatever his name is? Nakanata?
I could never. I was like Andres on that shit. I could never pronounce that shit.
Yeah, but like he looks at him as like Toranaga's like he's his heir. Like I mean, well, not really, but he's close to being that. And he's like kind of subjugated to that.
Nagakano or some shit, whatnot.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate that they gave him that name that's so hard to pronounce because he's a really good character, but like not being able to pronounce his name just makes it really difficult.
It's true.
You know, it's like I like this character, I like to talk about, but I can't pronounce his name, so fuck it. You know, Jassim, my friend, my little brother. Listen, I'm sorry that the bearded lady turned your power off and whatnot because she was pissed off at you or whatever. But now that you're back, sir, you know, I'm sorry that you also lost your sunglasses too. That's unfortunate. You were looking really stylish there with them. The whole Top Gun vibe was really working for you. But in the meantime, sir, what I was asking was to go back to my outline question, the general question was, what were your top 3 characters in episodes 1 through 5 in no specific order and why? But if you want to order them, go ahead, sir, have at it and nut up and do it.
Okay, so top 3 characters. I'm going to put number 1. You're going to be surprised by this, Jeff. It's going to be Yabushiki, because as we see through episodes 1 through 5.
Why would I be surprised by that?
Because I always call him the cunt.
It's fucking Yabu, baby. Come on, dude.
Yabu the Bulge.
Yeah, bro. Come on, he's a fucking man.
Well, okay.
Keep going, brother. Keep going.
Great character. Okay, so the reason why I put him as a top character is because we see him throughout the first 5 episodes, like especially episodes 2 to 5. He's like playing both sides, you know, Toranaga and Ishido. And I've noticed, as someone who like never dove deep into the episodes when I first watched them, like when you're watching Yabu, like you're convinced, oh yeah, he's on Toranaga's side for like 1 minute. And then the next scene, he's like, you know, plotting something against Toranaga to help Ishido. And you're like, oh, this guy's a traitor. I have to thank the creators for that, especially the writers. Like for someone like me, who's like pretty naive, only focused on the moment, not thinking about the whole big picture. Like he was convincing that he was on this side 1 minute, that side the next minute. And it also helps understand how like Toranaga actually believed Yabu was like his great secondhand man. Like you could see Toranaga trusted this guy. And if you like pay attention to the whole series, you'd be like, no, this guy's a traitor, Toranaga. But yeah, he was very convincing. That's why he deserves.
But we're focused on episodes 1 through 5. So
that's what I said. Yeah,
I know. All right. So who's next?
The next one would be Blackthorn, because he does a great job of displaying how someone who struggles to communicate with people of a different language at like another country, like the way how he behaves in that situation, I think I would have behaved the same way too. Like he's just that relatable, even though the situation is so unrelatable. If you get what I mean.
You would have made the Blackfoot faces, those like half retarded.
Yeah, yeah.
Like facial expressions he would make, like he would be like.
Yes, yeah.
You would do that.
Yeah. Oh, and going back to Yabu, it's like he has these funny expressions too, and we see that more like in later episodes. But he still has those funny reactions, even those first 5 episodes. And my last one would have to be, this is a controversial one, but I would have to say Buntaro, because I think it was episode 3 where he had that heroic, what do you call it? Heroic fight. You know, he helped the others escape in the boat as he held off all those people. And then I think it was episode 5 where like he comes back. And the thing that I liked about when he came back was like, he comes back, he sees his wife, like someone else, and it's like, dude, I literally saved you guys. I nearly died. It's like as if I came back from the dead and I see this. Like the behaviors that he has are actually rational. They're understandable. And the actor does a great job of displaying all of that.
Well, you hated Montero during the episode reviews. You absolutely fucking hated them. Justin, you saw him. He hated fucking Montero.
Wait, who? Andreas, right?
You hated you hated Yabu, right? Like and you hated fucking Montero.
Wait, I hated
yes, you did for sure.
I thought I was the only one defending the dude throughout all those.
You didn't hate him. Andres hated him, but you weren't like a big fan of Montero. I don't remember you championing him all that much.
I wasn't champion. That's true. Yeah.
So I'm just surprised. That's all.
I mean, you know, I just took some time to think about it, and then I just came up.
I got you. So like, once you digested the series, let that shit pass a little bit, whatnot, and all that, and you look back and reflected on it. Certain aspects of the characters, the storyline, and whatnot, and everything came out to you that maybe you didn't see in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
most definitely. So I'll tell you what. I'll give everybody an extra 2 picks just for fun, right? So I'll go around real quick. Everyone gets 2 more extra picks. I'll start with you, Jassim. You can pick 2 more characters, episodes 1 through 5, to pick. Off the cuff, you can pick 2 more that you want to add. Go ahead. You start.
Okay, I'm gonna add Tornaga's son because, as we saw, I think in episode 5, where he used the cannons to just destroy Shiro's forces, like that was smart. Like if he didn't do that, Ishida would have like killed Toranaga like right then and there. And then the second one's gonna be Fuji because of that one scene where, remember the gun? Like he's supposed to give the gun away. He gave the gun to Fuji, and Fuji's like, "Don't ask for them again." That was epic.
I would pay $10 right now to be able to play that clip. Fuck, that's a goddamn good scene, bro. Seriously, bro. All right, Aston, you get 2 more picks, bro. What are they?
It's gonna have to be Feira, the captain. I think that's how it's pronounced. Vieira, or like I can't.
The Spaniard.
The Portuguese captain. The Portuguese captain, and Vasco was like something totally different. Something totally different because I got used to him being in police procedurals, so like that's just my thing. Seeing him like in a fucking medieval Japanese feudal, sword fight that was a trip for me. And of course, he does what he does best, being that sort of mid kind of character. But here he actually had some important stuff within those first few episodes, like the way he showed how he was conflicted about whether he was going to take the order or just kind of like let this guy slide through, and like that made me like him. But also I like the captain, the way he just kind of imposed his will, kind of like in the book. He was like, yeah, dude, like I ain't got to be nice to y'all no more. I'm on this boat. I will turn all this shit to cinders, bro. Like, don't play with me. Like, don't play with me, bro. Like, it's like, I'll take y'all out and y'all won't rebuild by the time I'll come back when there are 5 of these, like, so I like that part, like a really strong, and he isn't really a villain. He's just like, I'm out of here. Like, and you can't push me around. And I liked seeing that contrast. Him and Vasco on the same ship, opposed, but still on the same crew. And him not punishing him was kind of crazy, though. I thought that was a little crazy in that episode. Like I'm literally here. How did I miss you just letting him survive? But they made the deal, so it worked.
All right. Amato, you get 2 extra picks, and then you, Justin, and then we'll move on.
I would say I'm gonna throw out like Fuji, which is one of my honorable mentions, but like I have to put her out there. Like you said, Con, that scene where when she pulls that gun, it is like a phenomenal, like I don't know, I was amped when she turned that gun. I was up. Like I was like, that is like the coolest thing. It was so awesome to see her just like it really just dove into. I think it really showed like the code that they live by as well. Like as a secondary part of that is you really got to see like the way that these people are structured in their lives and their culture are set up. In this moment that she would do that for a person that she essentially despised at that moment. So that would be character number 1. And the second one, I actually really liked the young priest. I forgot his name.
Great,
but
great job. Great pick. That would be Father Alvido.
Yes. I just loved how like he was the only character I felt like in the entire show that was completely just straightforward and honest. He was just like this character that was like everything that he did was by the book. Everything that he did was like he was telling you the truth the entire time. He was doing what he was supposed to be doing. Like he was living the life that you would want. He was like the poster boy of what Christianity should be, in my opinion. Like instead of like how sometimes it's played out as, but I feel like he is what Christianity should be.
think that's excellent. I'm glad you mentioned that because at this point, I was actually thinking to myself before you started talking that nobody had brought up any of the priests yet, and I was going to have to. But I'll go ahead and go to you, Justin, for your number 2.
Yeah. Okay. Omi, he did a really good job. Like especially when you get introduced to him, he's like pissing on Blackthorn. Like that was a lovely scene, man. I absolutely loved it. And then like just his conversation with Toranaga's son and about, hey, like let's go turn against Josen and like why not? Like let's do this. Why not? Like encouraging it. And then I would say the next pick for me would be Rodriguez, actually, who is the Spaniard helping the Portuguese, but like he's kind of like facilitating I guess Blackthorn and like we're getting him in and out of like helping Abashi get him out, like that kind of thing. But yeah, so those two I would say.
Okay, and I'll pick my episodes that I never picked. My 3 episodes out of 10 are going to be are going to be episode 9, Crimson Sky, of course, episode 6, Ladies of the Willow World, and episode 7, A Stick of Time. And then I'll nut up and I'll go ahead and rank my top 3 characters for episodes 1 through 5. Then I'll do my 2 picks out of order. My ranked 3 are going to be number 1, Yabu, number 2, Fuji, and then number 3, Ishidu. Okay, and then my extra picks are going to be Toranaga and Blackfoot. There you go. So I thought that and Father Alvito was really strong too. He was. The actor that portrayed him was great. I thought that like all of his scenes, just to kind of bounce off of Amato, expound off his pick. No one's really mentioned, any of the priest characters really all that much yet. They really weren't given that much screen time in the series. But I felt like that character in all of his scenes, he brought his A game, and like it had an influence and added value to the episode that when he was in it, right? And I liked his relationship with Anna Sawi's character, Mariko. I did. So okay, I'm gonna play another trailer, and if anybody needs to grab a drink or go to the bathroom or anything like that and whatnot, that will be a good time. And then we'll go ahead and do the episode synopsis, breakdowns, and do the questions off those. And then we will do our talk about season 2 to close things out, essentially. And like I mentioned in the private chat, I might go past the 2-hour mark on this one. And I always like to warn people on the show, if you don't want to go past 2, just let me know. We'll plug out whatnot, everything. But as Wrath of Khan will tell you, or if you just look through our live streams, sometimes I just go live and just keep on going for 5 or 6 hours. Wrath of Khan knows I do that. Sometimes I'll get patches where I'll just do all that, like 2 or 3 or 4 shows where I'll just like see how far I can go from show to show. 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. So I like to talk Shogun. I might go 3 hours on this piece. So I might get the bearded lady to come on the panel, right, and jump on. So, but those are my picks. And here, let me go ahead and play this trailer. If I can find it. Technical difficulties, folks. Sorry.
Hear me, my son. I alone will tell you the truth. Death is the only punishment here.
I have not told you my family name, but it is well known in Japan. Many years ago, a great injustice stole everything from me. I have learned one truth, that enemies are everywhere and friends nowhere. To show your true heart is to risk your life. Because death can come for us at any moment.
These are dire times. Inomoto wa senran no you ni tachikaeru no wake. Doomed lovers, cursed kings. These people are godless savages. Or maybe they just don't give a shit what you think. Toki wa kita!
おり高ぶった逆賊から日の本を守らねばならん。
もはや戦議は終わったと思ってよいのじゃな。
Yo, when she says that, it sounds so dope.
己の敵の正体が分かっておらぬのじゃ。
I love her, dude.
You cannot play their games. That's how they dominate. A title revered through the ages. Shogun.
Do not be fooled by our politeness.
This is the best one.
Our armies of rituals. Death is in our air. And sea and earth. Just remember. We live and we die. We control nothing beyond that.
There's a saying out here. Every man has three hearts. One in his mouth for the world to know. Another in his chest, just for his friends. And a secret heart, buried deep, where no one can find it. What kind of man wields power in a land like this? The one with the open or the one you never see? When I die here, likely.
War is coming.
Life and death are the same. Both can have value and purpose.
This is not where we die. We should be corpses, I know. But here we are. My life is mine and yours is yours. If you can't see that, you'll never be free of this prison.
It is you who is imprisoned. Freedom is all you ever live for.
Here it is. The scene. Dude, that shit is fucking haunting, bro. It's haunting, bro. Almost. Fucking that trailer right there is the best one I think out of the three, bro. Like, it's fucking sick, dude. Right? It's like Mariko's trailer almost and shit and whatnot. So I'll go around real quick and ask everybody. I'll start off with you, Amato. Then I'll go over to you, Rathacon. Then I'll go to you, Aston. I'll go to you, Justin, to round it out. What are your thoughts on these trailers? Quick. Just, I think any thoughts that you have since I've been playing them and whatnot and all that. I get a lot out of them. It really helps you revisit the show. What do you think, Amato? What are your thoughts on the trailers?
I think it does a good job of like kind of reminding you of some stuff that maybe you didn't remember happened, or or stuff that's harder for you to grasp your mind around, like the earthquake. It's a big event, but like you kind of forget about it because it happens, but then they kind of pass over it in a way, you know. And I feel like it's good, you know, just seeing how, you know, some stuff that you may have forgotten about because there's so much that happens in the series in just 10 episodes. But and you got to see that scene of Fuji with her gun in one of those trailers, and you know, you got to see a lot of you forget about some of those like force fight scenes too, like that were in the early episodes, you know, that were early on. You get to see some glimpses of like Mariko's fighting ability, and you know, in those early episodes that, you know, foreshadow what she ends up doing towards the end of the series.
I know. I'd like to see Mariko and the bearded lady scrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't know who I would put money on that one.
Well, that beard's a liability. It gives you something to pull.
Yeah, but the bearded lady's got like prison tats and shit, yo. Seriously, come on, Justin. It's funny. You can laugh, bro. You can laugh.
I mean, Mariko's gotta walk around in those, you know, those little sandals that are probably terrible, and they like got those. They got all those messed up feet. She has to be, you know, she's gone through a lot of pain in her life just from that.
And then one of the interviews I watched with Hiroyuki Sanada, he talked about how they had a professional gestures coach, right, that handled all the gestures of the customs of, like, you know, how to walk in the kimonos, how to walk properly, how to sit properly, right? Like, you know, how to open the doors of those little, you know, fucking weird paper wall fucking houses or whatnot, how to properly open those doors in like the authentic, respectful way from that time period. They really fucking did a great job, like, paying attention to the authenticity of the time period.
Yeah, how to
like they strove hard for it took a long time to make Shogun. It took three plus years for them to make it, because they spared no expense and whatnot, put as much time as was necessary to make sure that their shit was authentic as fucking possible, right? Like, that's all they really in that core were concerned about. The writers, everybody involved. That was like a unified theme, right? From my understanding of the production, was that everyone was focused on authenticity in every aspect. They stressed it. You know, and it shows, I think, right? Go
everything
ahead.
from the choreography onwards, like, as you just said it yourself, it's like, it's amazing production value. Like, 3 years, I didn't know 3 years, bro. That's crazy for one season. Like, that's commitment.
Well, I can't remember what order I was saying that I was going to go with anyway, but I'll go to you, Aston, on the trailers. What are your thoughts on the trailers, sir? You've seen the trailers.
Oh, man, sorry. See, this is what happens when you talk in class. You get in trouble. My bad, coach. The trailers for me, I'm surprised I didn't see none of this really advertised, like, at all on social media that heavy. I was like, this is gold. This is really a good show. Like, I just wish they pushed it more, because the trailers are good. They don't give you like the best stuff, but they kind of work around it, so you still want to stay into it. Like, it very good stuff. I mean, the music sells it too, and those actors being on screen, I mean, like, and it's kind of like what I really love about those trailers is that they don't push like all the like whatever white characters and stuff. Like, it's really mostly Asians and all of that stuff, and Blackthorn is, as he's supposed to be, in an ensemble cast. It's divided amongst them, like, even in the trailers.
And Shaquille O'Neal is in there too. You just can't see him because he was hiding in the corner. It was dark. He was in the shadow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, super great trailers, and I'm definitely going to tell a lot of my buddies to check it out.
Like, if you would have been standing next to the shadow and whatnot, everything, and Shaq would have been like, boo, and scared you and shit, and whatnot, everything.
Oh, man. Like, but you're like the Shaq of this show. You're like Shaq and Chuck in one, man, from TNT basketball. Like, you like both of them, my man. Like, I love it, man.
Nah, bro, I'm not as professional as fucking Shaq, maybe. But I'll go over to you, Rathacon, on the trailers, sir. What are your thoughts?
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay.
I was able to hear you fine before.
Okay, I changed my mic from AirPods to
my Mac.
You sound fine, sir.
Hopefully it's clear.
Have at it.
Perfect. Okay, so everyone had great points. I will add for Aston that when I first saw Shogun, I only saw a tweet about it, just the poster, the exact poster that he has in the background, and I was like, that looks like a cool show. But like this was like months ago, and then it wasn't until Jeff was like, "Hey, I'm reviewing Shogun. You want to join me?" And I was like, How many episodes do I need to watch? He's like, 5. I'm like, I'm gonna start binge watching, and then I was like blown away by the whole thing. I will say that in the previous like reviews, I've discounted episode 1, but after looking at the trailers,
what about the trailers? Like what? Yeah, come on, get into the trailers.
Okay, yeah, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with this. So, a lot of people will say episode 1 sucks, right? But then when I look back at the trailer and I see the scenes, you know, from like the guy boiling in the water, you have the ship scene, you know, as the ship is like fast going to Japan and stuff like that. I'm just like, episode 1 was actually quite artistic. Like, I wish I paid more attention to like all of the details of episode 1 rather than like getting caught up in like all this weird stuff, this like world that I'm not.
If I had been that guy in there getting boiled in that pot, I would have been like, "Hey, yo, give me one last piece of pussy before I die. What's up?
But you know,
before I burn to death, let me get one more piece of pussy, baby."
But you know what's interesting is that if you look closely at the scene where like he's boiling to death, like you don't see the part where like his skin melts. Like it's just the beginning. So it's like they were able to keep it like good, you know, like not graphic. So like you could show it to everyone. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Show to everyone, baby. Well, I love it. Yep. Watch that dude get boiled and shit, whatnot. Everyone should see it. Anyways, there you go, Rathacon. And good luck. Congratulations on getting cast to be in Top Gun 3. You know,
Ashton's also coming to Top Gun 3 too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You forgot?
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and Yasa could do a beach volleyball, beach football scene. I could see that.
Oh yeah, shirtless, showing the abs.
You and the bearded lady and fucking Shaquille O'Neal, baby, on the same team with Yabu and his loincloth. I'm telling you, bro. You guys would be fucking.
Go long, bro. Go long.
You guys would be strong. Strong. You know what I'm saying?
We even got mad, but like it's crazy how we all like got red, like the 3 of us here on that one side.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. That's crazy. How we like how? Wait, hold up. Wait. Are you wearing a Nikola Tesla shirt, my man? Amato.
Yes, I am. Nikola Tesla.
There you go. He's Croatian, FYI. That's where we from. Like there's gonna be a lot of Croatian like promotion, like when I'm on the air.
In the Top Gun volleyball match, whatnot, everything, right? There would be like a foul or something like that, and whatnot, with the bearded lady, and she'd like stab somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know, like stab them.
I love not being the crazy one, like in a room. Like I'm that guy my whole life until I met this dude, and I love him. Like, and
you ever say when we don't be at Medicine South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, and you got a toothpick is like stabbing his chicken or whatnot with a knife and shit, whatnot.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways,
pull that classic out, man. That's classic, bro. That's classic.
Yeah. Take me to jail. I ain't afraid to fuck a man in the ass or whatever in the shower or whatever.
I thought you wanted to be transferred to the women's prison.
That was just jokes. That were jokes. Anyways, Justin, sir.
Yeah.
Justin, sir. Your thoughts on the trailer, sir.
Yeah, no, I remember when I first saw the trailers. Like, I'm a huge anime fan, and I was like, this just looks like a live action anime. Like, I got to watch this. And then so the trailers kind of like it sets you up. It sets you up for just the storyline driven like saga that we just watched play out through 10 episodes, because like an anime storyline is epic. Like the characters are all built particular, and just like Shogun, the characters are built, and the trailer does a really good job of flexing the muscles on each individual character in the season, because they each kind of get their moment in the trailers, and you're just excited to see where they go. And I mean, I loved it, man.
Yeah, they do a really good job of showing all the characters in the trailers. I love that they made 3 really good ones too. Like they're all good, all 3 of them, right? Like there are 3 different like individual trailers, and they're all really fucking good. But I do think that last one is the best one, where it's all Mariko talking and whatnot, everything, narrating it, whatnot, and all that. I think might be the best one. I love the music in that one. I really do.
For sure.
It's really good, dude. Shogun is so top notch, so high quality, bro. Right? Like, I don't know about y'all, Justin, like what your creative process is like over there by you guys, but for me, these trailers are how I decide to pick shows. Right? So, like, you know, I picked Shogun off that one Shogun trailer that I saw. That's how off the cuff I am, if you can't tell.
Yeah, no,
right?
that's. I mean, I would have picked it too if I would have actually seen it before it aired.
Yeah,
so
I saw the trailer one time, and I shot Cyber a message and whatnot, and let him know. I was like, dude, we're covering Shogun on whatever, you know, date or whatever, whatnot, everything. It'll be our first episode review or whatever, whatnot. You know.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to do the first 2 episodes together in one show, or we'll break them up and whatnot, and everything, and be a week behind real time? It was like my next question. You know what I mean? But like we were doing it, you know. Thank God I've got a good gut when it comes to that stuff. I picked Andor, right? I picked The Last of Us. Well, a lot of people didn't cover that either.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
That was really solid. Really solid. House of the Dragon was fucking great. Which folks will be covering that on Monday nights in June, at the end of June. We'll be covering the House of the Dragon. You guys fucking with House of the Dragon?
Oh, yeah, I love that show, man. It's good. It's a great show.
Are you guys covering it?
We're probably not going to cover it. No. Sadly.
No. Okay.
It falls like in a weird time for our scheduling, so it makes it hard to do a podcast on it.
Yeah, that's understandable. I really enjoyed reviewing the first season. Those were some good shows, good long shows. I'm sure you can understand that. The episodes were so long. But like, honestly, as far as competition for Shogun for 2024 top spot for TV series, I feel like House of the Dragon is probably going to be their biggest competition. You know, I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that, you know, but I'll go around. Aston, you seem like you want to talk. I think House of the Dragon will probably be their competition for the top spot for top TV series of the year.
I mean, here's the thing. I feel that a show like Shogun, because it's FX and Hulu, like this, like, let's bear in mind, this isn't being pushed, that this isn't on like Netflix or anything like that internationally, bro. Like this show, I feel really like with the second season, people are going to pick it up, sort of like From the first season, like only now it's on Netflix and people are picking it up. I feel this show doesn't really have legit competition because it's like a timepiece. You know, it's like an era piece specific thing with enough actual stuff which happened in their history integrated and woven into the narrative. So like, I don't see it as competition from like a Game of Thrones like spinoff, because like I'm pretty sure like a lot of the demographic for this is a lot bigger if it is pushed correctly, because it's not a gore fest. I'm
just talking about pure like Emmy nomination type type world. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be their competition for like. Yeah.
Easily get some, like, because like you. I think we all agree. Like I can't think of a show this year that has had this sort of like, for me as a viewer, that I really want to see the next episode, and it's not done like with cheap Netflix cuts. You know, okay, we're gonna build you up and just give you that cheap little hook at the end of the episode. Like, nah.
Well, I told you that, bro. I told you that's how it would be when you watched it. Same thing I told Jasmine. I was like, once you watch episode 2, you're going to be hooked and you'll just start binging it. And that's what happens with Shogun. But let me go around and whatnot and everything on that whole Emmy and, you know, House of Dragon situation. I'll start with you, Amato. I'll go to you, Justin. Amato, what do you think for Shogun Emmy-wise? And what do you think about House of the Dragon? It is pretty much their competition, right? Because, I mean, it's as of right now, it's the best TV series of the year. This series is going to win a lot of Emmys, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna win a lot of Emmys. I do think House of the Dragon has like this name value to it because it's connected to Game of Thrones. So that's gonna be hard to push against. And the Emmys are notorious for like essentially falling into ruts where they just like, we're getting over the same people over and over again. So, but it'll be, I think Shogun has been really good. I think, you know, Shogun and the other show that I think has been like phenomenal this year that has come out won't win any Emmys in this scenario because it's an animated show. X-Men 97 has been, it just finished up as phenomenal. But, you know, I think that's probably the best, you know, like one of the other best shows that has come out this year, but it won't fall in the same category Emmy-wise. So I think Shogun, I wouldn't be surprised if it just like cleans house.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Justin? I think they're like in the production categories, like when it comes to the cinematography and like the score and all that and whatnot, the technical stuff, they're just going to clean house.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's gonna be tough to beat Shogun. Shogun is it's the clear front right now, and I guess you're right. The House of the Dragon could compete, but I think like sneakily, there's like another FX show that I think potentially could Emmy wise, like the Bear season 3 coming out. If it maintains the quality of season 1 and 2, it has a potential to compete in Emmy wise because that's a fantastic show. But
that probably would be, but that probably would be more of like the actual acting and like directing and like, you know, like,
that's true.
Like areas, whatnot, and all that and everything. I don't know how well Shogun will do in those categories.
Yeah.
I just know that when it comes to all the time they put into like the authenticity, it's going to pay off in the Emmys.
Yeah,
right?
production for sure.
The costume design and all that and whatnot, they're going to win.
Oh, costume next level. Yeah.
They already won. They already won the Emmy for costume design. It's already over. They already put their name on it. It already has Shogun printed on it. You know what I'm saying? Along with like 15 other fucking like categories and whatnot, and everything, if not more.
Yeah.
You know, cinematography, they're probably going to win, right? Score, easily score the score. They can win. With the acting and actors, I'm not really sure how they'll make out. I'm sure probably that I'm sure Toranaga will he'll probably get nominated, right? You know,
Mariko, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, Tornaga's here definitely. Hiroyuki,
Sanada,
Sanada or whatever. He's due, and like he was a full producer of the series, so I think he'll probably get nominated, and I think that probably Cosmo Jarvis will probably get nominated, and I think Anasawi will too.
Yeah,
you know, other than that, I don't think like Yabu. I don't think we'll get nominated for like or anything like that.
Sadly, no.
But I don't think it has any like legit competition because when I look back at what came out, like what's going to be in like what you can vote for if you're on this panel, like what show really moved the needle in this? Like let's be like seriously honest. Like this is the first show like I was excited about in a while. That wasn't a continuation like a Stranger's Thing or you know something like that.
Well, that was my point, Aston, is that the House of the Dragon season 2 hasn't come out yet. We got to watch it first. And the first season was really fucking solid, bro. I covered it. So like it was Shogun level in its own way. It was, bro. I'm telling you, the writing and everything and whatnot, bro. Like the episodes, the consistency, you know, there being no fillerish shit at all, just nothing boring, you know, just really great storytelling and great character, you know, evolution and whatnot, everything and arcs and all that. It's all there. So they could very well pull something off with season 2. Especially if you've seen their trailers now, they're actually gonna have the war now with the dragon fighting and all that shit and whatnot. Like they didn't really have much action in season 1, so that could be a game changer, bro. So that was my main point, is that they could be competition, right? Because honestly, it is HBO Studios, and they're known for with their productions too. What do you think, Jasmine? How do you think the Shogun's gonna make out in the Emmys?
I mean, as what's his name? Not Amato, as Amato said, it's like a clean slate. When you look at the Rotten Tomato score of Shogun, 99%, that is their score. Okay, House of Dragon season 1, that is only 93%. Now, the prediction markets, they actually predict that House of Dragon season 2 would have a Rotten Tomato scores around like 88, you know, close to 90. They're not that optimistic that it will beat season 2. So just from all of that, I think there's no competition. Shogun's just going to win the year.
Well, we'll see. You know, and we'll definitely, when season 2 comes out, I'll make sure that I get all of y'all invites out and whatnot to come back and help recap those episodes.
Oh,
but getting into episode 1, you know, while we still have while we still have Aston with us and whatnot before he takes off, so he can get on some of these episode, you know, questions. Engine is the title of episode 1. It was directed by Jonathan Van Tolkien, written by Rachel Kondo, who was also helped create the series. and Justin Marks too. You know, and basically in 1600, the Taiko has recently died, leaving the rule split among 5 equal regents who protect the Taiko's child heir at Osaka Castle. The Dutch trading ship Erasmus and its starving crew arrive at Ejiro, the coast of Japan. The survivors, including English pilot John Blackthorne, are taken prisoner by local samurai. The entrenched Portuguese traders in the Catholic Church's Jesuit order are the political and religious rivals of the Protestant Blackthorne. The local Jesuit priest immediately attempts to have Blackthorne executed, claiming him to be a pirate, but the thief's ruler, Kashigi Yabushigi, dismisses the request and plans to use the Erasmus and its weapons to his benefit. At Osaka Castle, 4 regents, led by Lord Ushido Kazunori, initiate the process to impeach and thereby condemn to death the 5th regent, Yoshi Toranaga. Following a spy's report, Toranaga's general, Toda Hiramatsu, confiscates the Erasmus and its cargo before bringing Blackthorne to Osaka. On the way, Blackthorne takes command of the ship during a storm when the Spanish navigator Rodriguez is washed overboard, and Rodriguez is saved by Blackthorne and Yabushigi. Blackthorne is then taken to Osaka Castle, where he meets Toranaga and Lady Toda Mariko. Now, I went ahead and read that first full synopsis for the episode, you know, just because it's, you know, for time reasons. I'm going to go ahead and just read these full synopsises and then do questions off of them. So, what I'll basically do is, you know, I'll basically say, you know, split the episode in half on the first question, and, you know, going up to the part of episode 1 where, you know, essentially, well, no, I won't split it up. Let me just ask you guys directly. I'll start with you, Justin, and then I'll go over to you, Amato, and then I'll go over to you, Aston, and then over to you, Jassim. Give me your just general thoughts. Just take as much time as you want. Expound as much as you want. Give me your general thoughts on episode 1 from, you know, as much as you could remember and from that synopsis, right? And just highlight anything in there that you want to highlight that you thought was, you know, was profound or, you know, really, you know, big points or whatnot in the episode.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the first episode really does a good job of painting a picture of the world that they want to create. And so, like, you get introduced to this, like, this political, like, strife of the ruler, the shogun, is now, like, he's passing away, and now he's leaving the command to the 5 regents until his heir is of age. And like, just right off the jump there, like, they're establishing like a political drama, whereas, like, you may have thought coming into this it was like a samurai action pack kind of a battle, and then just like to throw a little extra wrinkle in there, you have this foreigner coming with white skin and is not even a part of the world that you're seeing, and then but what he brings is weaponry and a whole different tactics of fighting, because in that feudal Japan, like, it was very much like close combat and skill, and like it's very personal, whereas you get the English, or I guess for them it would be like just that side of the world, the European world, you get these tactics of from far away distance, and you get shooting the cannons, and it's pointing something at another person, and it's very much different. And so, like, you see the lifestyle confliction there, and then so much so where, like, Toranaga's like, I need this as an edge to get over on Ishido. And so, I mean, I found it so captivating in that first episode of just this struggle that's laid out in front of us. And so, yeah, I loved it, man.
Okay. Amato?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the first episode is all these moments of Blackthorne essentially being a man, metaphorically and physically kind of having a knife to his throat. And he's constantly trying to just, like, survive another, 30 seconds, another minute. He's constantly he's having all these moments of near death and just trying to talk his way out of whatever's going on. And, like, you kind of, like, they talk about him being a pirate and stuff like that. And I think a lot of the ways, like, you're not even sure, like, is he a pirate? Isn't he a pirate? Kind of like, he kind of plays on it himself, like, what his own background is throughout it. And you're like, you're not even 100% sure as a viewer, is he a pirate? Was he just a, you know, is he a merchant? Is he a pirate? Is he just pretending to not be a pirate because he was, you know, doesn't want to be killed? And you're seeing a lot of this kind of stuff there. And then you're seeing like all these moments of this culture clash between the excuse me, between the Japanese and the English in these moments. And it's crazy because, you know, I think very much at this point, the English think that they're like top of the world, and they're going into this world where they're not, and these people don't know that they're just, they don't see them as anything, you know, as top of the world at all.
Oh, that's okay, sir. I cough all the time too, but usually it's because I smoke a weed, though. Did you have anything else to add, sir?
I think that was it for like the first episode. Really, you know, you're just seeing a lot of this culture clash and these moments of, you know, where Blackthorn is essentially just trying to lengthen his life by minutes. Essentially, is what the way I kind of saw it.
Well, you know, someone actually told me that there's one part in the scene with the ship with Blackthorn in the storm where it's really quick, but you can, if you slow it down, you can freeze frame it. Look, Shaquille O'Neal actually holds the boat up in the ocean, right? and helps Blackthorn out in that shit.
That's how he survives, right?
Yeah, Shaq just raises his arms up and shit and whatnot, and like
I mean that's very unique because I mean Shaq wasn't known for assists, so you know. For the fact that you go out of
Amato like slamming it on him, just slamming it. Love it.
Dang, so
nope. Shaq was like, Shaq, pick up boat. Raise arms, pick up boat.
I mean, Assassin's Creed made him look great.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, if there was going to be a version of Shaquille O'Neal in Shogun, I would want it to be the Shazam or whatever the fuck, you know, like whatever the fuck that stupid wizard Shaq version was ever back in the day.
Yeah.
I would rather see like Yao Ming or some shit like that, or like
I want a combination of like of the wizard fucking Shaq and rapper Shaq.
Wow.
You
Oh
know?
my god.
Anyway, so Aston, sir, your thoughts on episode 1, sir?
I think it's great for someone who like if you never read the book and stuff, like awesome. Great episode. Really, it gives you just enough, and to kind of piggyback on what Justin said earlier, and what Amato said, like the way they put you into this setting, so in such an immersive way, like you see the desperation on the ship, you see the captain, the struggle he's dealing with before they even get there. They kind of condensed it in a very digestible way. So I'm pretty sure most people are going to walk away from that first episode like wanting to know where these 3 threads go, because they set up 3 threads, which you already are like, okay, these can't be solved in the next, no matter what you do, they're not going to be solved by the end of this episode, maybe even the next 2-3 episodes. And Blackthorn really, he conveys the desperation well, while you have Toranaga not really showing it in the first episode. He's kind of like, you know, his only weak moment is like kind of getting snuck out, if I remember correctly, right?
I believe so, yes.
Oof. Hang in there, Justin. But yeah, when it comes to the show, like the tone set by Shogun and what the decision FX have taken, like I don't see that being made with a lot of Netflix shows, with a lot of HBO shows, and it's crazy. It's crazy for them to have like, and it's not a pilot because no one does pilots anymore. So, but for a first episode, you're invested in those 3 characters. Off the rip, like, and you're sympathetic to 2 out of the 3.
Okay, Jason.
So, I have to say about episode 1 is, even though I wasn't that immersed into the story, like it felt rough. I didn't even read the book at all. I will say I did enjoy just seeing the whole like environment. I will say the ship scene was the most confusing scene out of all the other scenes because I'm just like, okay, they're on the ship. What's going on? I did not see feudal Japan yet, not until they, you know, the whole scene. Yeah. And then what else? Ooh, after the ship, when you see the whole like regents meeting, you know, you see you could sense the chaos and you're like, okay, something is going on here. And I just had the good sense that this is another storyline. But somehow these two storylines, the ship and the chaos at the Congress, have to merge. How? That's how we go through the episode and stuff. I just felt that when you watch that, the whole scene, you know, all the regents are thinking about, you know, expelling Toranaga. I just had this sense that, like, as if feudal Japan was collapsing. I don't know if you guys also had that same sense when you were watching that scene. You know, you could sense like all the chaos, you know, like as it was like the end of the world. I just loved how
I never really felt like there was like I never had that feeling, whatnot, because what we saw, right, like throughout the whole series, especially in episode 1, was a very small segment of like how big Japan is, right? That time, period, right? You know. So like,
but the way how they were talking, it's like as if they're like about to go to war, you know, or like things are about to end.
No. I mean, it's a very tense series. It's a very
tense, the stakes.
You know, like,
yeah, the stakes are definitely set. Like on that point, yeah, definitely. Like the stakes are set way high. Like and they're believable. Like you genuinely are like, you know.
Well, it's based off a true story. You know, at the end of the day, right? But listen. Aston, let me go ahead and send you off, sir. You know, it is very early in the morning, late at night for you where you live. So I want to send you off, sir, with a Chloe Zhao award, of excellence. Okay, you know, take that however you want to take it. I don't know what you think about Chloe Zhao, but there you go. And this is me. You know, the day at the grocery store where I realized that Magnum condoms don't fit me. There you go. As it sends off to you, brother.
All right, man. Thank you, man. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. Thank you very much.
And one of these too. There you go. I saw you like that. I saw you like that meme, so I figured I'd play it with you to send you off. Awesome, those will be your plugs. I love that one. Guy gets blowjob. Did you come, baby? That shit is fucking hilarious, bro.
Thanks again to all of y'all for having me on, especially you know, Jeff, and you know, for bringing me out to.
You're welcome, sir. Your gift certificate to the She-Hulk Savage Massage and Spa will be in the mail.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll get my plugs out and I'm out. Aston Mike Delgado. You can check my music out, more about me at astonmike.com, or follow me on Facebook or Instagram, Aston Mike Delgado. Thank you guys very much. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are watching this. Thank you guys very much.
Next time, give me a link for that stuff, and I'll pull it up.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.
And there's the last one for Aston, just for his first show, whatnot. He's also going to get a 7-year-old boy Captain Bree picture moment. There you go. All right. And so now we're down to three out of 4, because Justin is having an emergency potentially. We're not sure. We hope he's okay. But I'm going to just mention with episode 1. I'm just going to keep my comment short. Just basically that I felt like the pulse I got from the street from people was that a lot of people felt like episode 1 was slow or like it dull or something or whatnot, and that it really didn't evoke a lot of excitement in them. In viewing it, I heard that a lot from people when I would discuss Shogun with other people. You know, I had no problem with it. Like, I did not see it as a deterrent at all. I mean, I had to watch the show to cover it anyway, right? But I'm saying, like, you know, if I had been watching it, I believe, just for pure entertainment purposes, I don't see how episode 1 would have been for me a detriment at all, or like something that would have not, fueled me to want to just carry right over into the next chapter. Right. Because just like all the other, just like episode 2 and 3, episode 1 and all the episodes are just like complete episodes. They're complete open and closed episodes. They have endings almost individually. It's wonderful. But I do think that the shots the cinematography, the shots of the sea, of the ship, the Aerosmith and all that, whatnot, everything in the episode are like literally outstanding. They are. I guess it wasn't in episode 1 that Yabu fell off that cliff and all that shit and whatnot and all that. Was that in episode 2?
No, it's episode 1.
I was about to say.
Think. Yeah, it's episode 1.
They didn't have that in the synopsis, man. The whole thing at the end where fucking what happened there? Rodriguez was at the bottom of the cliff, so they had to go down there to get him. Yeah. And Yabu, instead of letting Blackthorn go, Yabu went down there and he fell.
Yeah, and he fell, and you get to see. I mean, it's another one. It's one of those moments where it's actually more important for Blackthorn than it is for Yabu. As he's really getting like what is actually Japanese culture like, in that moment, like it's incomprehensible for him in that moment to understand why someone would do that instead of just trying to get himself up or letting himself just trying to survive, essentially, which it's an interesting contrast to the way that Blackthorn has been acting the entire episode, because everything that Blackthorn does in episode 1 and a little bit later on as well is like, it's all about self-preservation for him. It's all about making it to the next moment, whereas like everything they do with Japanese culture, like about it is, and they bring up a lot of seppuku and stuff like that. But like a lot of that stuff is about like honor and things like that. And that it doesn't like makes sense to him. Like everything that he's doing is about surviving, and everything that they're doing is about containing their honor and upholding their honor.
Yeah, well, his evolution of crossing over culturally, right, and whatnot, everything, and basically deciding to pick Japan over England, essentially, by the end of the series, right? Yeah. Like he basically has. Like he doesn't say it, but he wouldn't have to be forced to stay at that point. He wants to be in Japan, right? And that evolution of his character, that arc, right, is one of the biggest aspects of the story. It's one of the heaviest, tilts, right? Yeah. Like that, one of the biggest pulls of the show. That and Toranaga, right, his arc, and then Anna Sawi's as Lady Mariko. That's the show when it boils down to it, right? And then you just have these side arcs, right, with a Shidu, right? Yeah. And different other, Yabu, right? And these different secondary characters, you know what I'm saying? And it all just comes together so well, right? But one thing I love about talking about these different episodes, is that it was really great how they sort of paced the not the introduction of certain characters, like, over the whole series, but the backgrounds of them and like the details of the characters and whatnot, everything. They didn't reveal all of it right from jump with all the characters, Yeah. Justin will come back.
But yeah, they kind of created a situation where it was, they weren't just like giving you a monologue about, oh, this is who this person is. You unraveled their story in a kind of like a slow burn mentality.
Most definitely. And Amato, tell Justin that I said, obviously, that that of course I understand that he had to go. When it comes to kids and family and stuff like that and whatnot and all that always supersedes the content and all that. So I'll reach out to him and let him know, but just let him know. I think he already knows that I understand.
Yeah.
No, so let's move on to episode 2, right? Episode 2, of course, was Servants of Two Masters. It was a really good episode. It was directed by Jonathan Van Tolkien again, and written by Rachel Kondo and Justin Marks. And in 1958, the Taiko on his deathbed, this is one that starts off with the great flashback to the Taiko, right? And Toranaga privately informs Toranaga of his intention to form a council of regents to succeed him, but warns that it will likely result in civil war. In 1600, Blackthorn's confiscated journals are given to the Jesuits by Rodriguez. Blackthorn meets with Toranaga, with Mariko, great scene, and the Jesuit priest Martin Alvino as interpreters, but is interrupted by a Shidu. Toranaga feigns disinterest and has Blackthorn imprisoned, hoping to use his presence to sow division between Ishido and the Christian regions. In prison, Blackthorn meets a friar who informs him that the Portuguese black ship has been taking profits from the silk trade back to Europe using a secret military base in Macau. The Christian regents inform Ishido that they will only vote on Toranaga's impeachment if Blackthorn is executed, and Yabushige convinces Ishido that Blackthorn could be useful. Yabushige and his samurai stage a bandit attack and rescue Blackthorn from execution. At Blackthorn's second meeting, with Rico interpreting, he explains that Portugal and Spain have divided the world among themselves and intend to replace all non-Catholic governments. That night, a shinobi attempts to assassinate Blackthorn, but is killed by Toranaga, who had secretly switched their rooms. Great episode. I'm surprised that nobody picked episode 2 in our top episodes.
I did.
Oh, you did. You're right. You picked episodes. I'm sorry about that.
I had that in my outline, my notes.
You did. You're right. My bad, dude. I'm so sorry. You picked episode 2. Great episode. I'll let you start off about it, then I'll go to you, Jason. We lost Justin, folks, unfortunately, so it's just the three of us.
Yeah.
Give me the skinny on episode 2 from your standpoint, Amato.
Yeah, I think one of the really good things they did, and it was 1 and 2 that they kind of pulled together, was this building the structure of what is actually happening in Japan. And they kind of do it in the sense of, like, by the way they introduce people to the Anjin. Like, at first you see this leader of a town, and you think, okay, this guy's got to be really high up. And no, he's just the nephew of Yobi, And you're like, oh, this guy's got to be really high up, But no, it's really just all to show you how high up Toranaga is, how big Toranaga is, So they build this like tiered system where you can actually see the stratification of Japanese culture, and just so without really like saying it out loud, they're showing you just how important these people are in the scale of everything. So I thought that was a really cool way of showing it without like just being like, oh, this is where this person ranks. This is where this person ranks. This is where this person ranks. You got to see it build on each other as you saw people become more and more important. So that was really cool. And I do like the fact that like in this episode you can see Blackthorn build some more things about he's trying to create division between the Portuguese and the Japanese. As he's trying to get under the skin and try to create this situation where he's trying to show the Japanese that the Portuguese see them as pawns, essentially, in this whole thing. And I think the Japanese see the Portuguese as kind of just, I think they see them as beneath them, like in a lot of ways. They're just these secondary characters, like they're not really important. They're trading partners, but they're not like, I don't think they see them on the same level as a Japanese person. So that's really cool seeing him, and he's trying to like, dig in there. And you get some of the first, real like interactions about who Toranaga is and, how important he is and how he's, the one, how he's kind of off on an island of his own in the Regent's world. You're really getting to see that he's this essentially outcast amongst the Regents because of who he is and how powerful he is on his own. The other Regents have kind of built a system against him because they're essentially trying to counterbalance how powerful Toranaga actually is. So it's cool seeing that part of the Japanese culture and seeing how that builds up in this episode.
Yes, honestly, I think that episode 2 is a great Blackthorn episode. It's really kind of almost like his, if I remember correctly, like, looking back, it was sort of like, really like one of his stronger episodes, I think. What do you think, Rathakad?
I think what makes episode 2 help people actually get into the story is the fact that you see more of Mariko being the translator for Blackthorn, and just seeing that consistency like throughout the episode, and then as see in future episodes, I think just that of itself is what helps people. Like, when you see all these people with complicated names, it's like you see this, they're like, okay, foreigner, translator, done. That's how I actually got hooked based from episode 2. And then what else? I mean, our friend here, I keep forgetting his name. Hold on.
Who?
The not the Elon Musk, the other guy, Nikola Tesla T-shirt, Amato. He said pretty much everything I was about to say. That's all I'm saying.
No problem. Hey, it happens, it's like the first time that you've been on the panel before, Jassim, and like 5 people have like talked ahead of you and everything and whatnot, and they've already talked everything that you were going to say. It's just this time it was just Amato.
Yeah, I mean I haven't seen the episode in like a while, so it's like
I know.
Yeah.
Me too.
Good job, Amato.
Me too. I just don't have the desire to do a rewatch of Shogun right now. I'm not really like in the field, like the vibe to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not ready
yet.
Why? Yeah, I'm not ready yet. I usually I wait a little while before I rewatch. I do.
Mm-hmm.
On everything, whatnot. I don't really go right back. Plus we're always moving on to different shows, right?
Yeah.
We're about to hit another cycle of TV series and whatnot, and move over to the House of Dragon and the Acolyte and all that shit and whatnot and all that, So, so that was Servants of Two Masters. The episode 3, our middle point, is Tomorrow. Directed by Charlotte Brandstrom, written by Shannon Goss. And this is the one where Toranaga instructs Yamashiki to move Blackthorn to Ajiru, along with Toranaga's wife, Kiri. Ferreira, Captain General of the Black Ship, disregards the Jesuits' concerns and plans to sail with without Toranaga's permission. At Osaka Castle, Ishido inspects Yamoshiki's caravan under the guise of paying respects. That was a great scene. Blackthorn and Mariko witness Toranaga secretly changing places with Kiri in her litter. Mariko explains that they will be killed if this is discovered, and Blackthorn creates a distraction, enabling them to leave the castle. Kiyama's men later attack the caravan and discover Toranaga. Toranaga's party escapes to a galley as Mariko's husband, Toda Buntero Hirokatsu, stays behind to stall pursuit. The harbor is blocked by Kiyama's men, and Toranaga boards the Black Ship, striking a deal with the Portuguese in exchange for safe passage. Ferreira requires Blackthorn to be left behind, but he daringly follows in the galley and rejoins once both ships have broken the blockade. At sea, Toranaga makes Blackthorn a hot Amato and asks him to teach Western tactics to a new regiment. In Osaka, Hiramatsu informs the regents that Toranaga has resigned, leaving them without a quorum to vote on impeachment. I'll go to you first this time, Ratha Khan, so you have a chance to talk. What are your thoughts on Tomorrow is Tomorrow, sir?
I think Tomorrow being just the first episode where you get a real like battle, like that was like amazing. Like it just doubled down on just the good that episode 2 had, doubled down the momentum, and it just fuels the overall momentum as you go through the series. What I found very interesting was how they displayed the whole like, everyone like leaving the castle. You have like people in those boxes, everyone else is carrying those boxes, which looks so heavy. I don't know how they're able to carry it, but hey, kudos to them. And then once they get to the forest, I think that's where they talk about they have bandits there. So like they fight the bandits and then the Ishido's forces come in.
Yeah, they had that really great extended action scene. It was one of the the longest ones in the whole series.
Yeah. And then they had like the fire arrows, which I was like hoping to see more of, but we didn't even see that. And then
we got to see Blackthorn actually fight too, right?
Yeah, yes. No guns, which I was sad but understood. And I think just the overall fighting in the forest and just leaving the castle, I think that's just like the highlight, what makes the episode great.
What weapons did Mariko and Blackthorn have? Mariko had a spear, didn't she?
Yeah, and then Blackthorn. Oh, go ahead.
Was it an Aginta? I believe is the name of the
I don't think she had her weapon. I think she grabbed a spear from from one of the other whatever they are, ninja, whatever the fuck they are, or whatever, like the assailants. She like fought him and got his spear. She didn't have that long weapon that she practices with. And then what did Blackthorn have, Wrath of Khan? Did he have a sword? Just a sword? Is that what he had? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. He actually had a sword.
I think so, right, Amato? I remember sword.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think that might be
use a spear.
No, I think that might be that's the only time when you actually see him use the sword. It's in the trailers. In one of the trailers where you see him swinging the sword and shit and whatnot. That's one of the only times in the show you see him actually use the sword.
And he's not even a Hatamoto.
Blackfoot don't care about swords, bro. He don't care. That's not his shit. Anyways, did you have anything else to say, Wrath of Khan, about episode 3?
No.
Okay, Amato, sir, the floor is yours.
All right, so starting with that fight scene, since we just were talking about it, it was cool to see, because I think up until this point you were kind of like what kind of character is Mariko going to be, and you got to see another side of her, because you had seen her be, this translator, and even these moments like being able to have a little bit of backbone when she was translating, but you got to see her actually be like a physical force. Like she was actually capable in a fighting scene, and you got to see her be tough in a different way. And like I think one of the coolest things about her character totally is she's tough in so many ways. She's such a solid character. She's smart, she can fight, she can pretty much do everything that you want her to do as a character. So that was super cool. And then it was I liked seeing this episode. It was like the first time you get to see like the machinations of Toranaga as a character. With them kind of doing the switcheroo in the carrying as they were carrying him out, and you got to see him be a little bit conniving, a little bit like this, because up until this point, like I had said, he felt like almost like a Ned Stark type of character, but this is where you kind of get to see that maybe there's a little more like a little bit more like I'm playing the game type of character than it would be with the Ned Stark type of character. So it was really cool seeing him. Like you see that part of it come out of Toranaga. And
God bless you.
Thank you. And then you got to see as you were going along, it was a really cool, like it was our first like real fight scene, like you were saying, Wrath of Khan. Actually, you actually got to see like a real good fight going along, and you got to see just Toranaga actually go at it, and you got to see Buntaro for the first time really put it to some people, and and it actually comes like kind of almost a joke in a way, like that there are bandits like of the series. It's kind of like almost a running joke throughout the series that, oh, there are bandits. Anytime you need to get rid of something, there's bandits there to take care of your needs. So it was an interesting idea that they would. It was an interesting way to get around their honorable nature in a way, because like to do things underhanded isn't supposed to be a part of their nature. So they throw this idea of the bandits. They can't just kill them outright. So they say bandits did it.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's one of the most action-packed episodes of the whole series. Between the battle scene in the woods, and then the action scene with the blockade breaking and whatnot with the ships, right? With Blackfoot, it's probably easily the most action-packed episode. Not the most dispensable, but the most action-packed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. Let me move on to episode 4. That is the Eightfold Fence. Now, I believe this was one of your picks also, Amato. Was episode 4 of the Eightfold Fence. Yep. Now, this one was directed by our boy Frederick E. Otoy and written by Nigel Williams and Emily Yoshida. And this one, Toranaga inspects Yabushigi's army in Ajiro. Love this scene. And departs for Idu. This is the episode where it's all Mariko and Blackfoot. Mariko informs Blackthorn that his crew are in Edo and that the Arismus now belong to Toranaga. Blackthorn is given a home, a good salary, and Usami Fuji, everyone's hero, Hiramatsu's granddaughter, as his consort in exchange for training Yabushigi's army for 6 months. Yabushigi's nephew, Kashigi Omi, suggests to Yabushigi that in Toranaga's absence, Yabushigi can offer loyalty to the remaining regents. Can offer the confiscated weapons from the Erasmus to Ishido. Ishido's retainer, Nabera Josen, arrives and tells Yabushigi to return to Osaka and pledge his loyalty to the remaining regents. Knowing this will likely end in his death, Yabushigi invites Josen to stay the night and witness a demonstration of the cannons the next day. At dinner, Blackthorn gives Fuji one of his guns, a token of gratitude. That was a great emotional scene. I really enjoyed that scene. And she gives him her late father's swords. Mariko sneaks into Blackthorn's room at night and pillows with him, later claiming that she and Fuji had hired a courtesan. The next day, during the demonstration, Nagatano takes matters into his own hands and kills Josen and his retinue with chain shots from the cannons, much to Yabushigi's chagrin. So there you go. Episode 4, starting with you, Amato. Wonderful episode. It was the Blackthorn, Mariku pillowing episode.
Yes. I mean, this is really where you got to see like kind of the culmination of their like tension getting broken. Like, because they had kind of been building up until this point, and like I said, she ends up going in and finally releasing that tension with him. And it's a really cool episode because you get to see. It's interesting because Yabushiga is really interesting in this episode because you get to see him almost. There's a moment where he realizes that his essentially his military isn't his military. There's an interesting moment like when Toranaga shows up and they're like everyone's like looking at Toranaga, and I think like Yabushiga's like jealous at this moment because these men that are supposed to be loyal to him, and he knows that he's like a vassal to Toranaga, but I think he also like he normally expects people to be like the highest guy around. And I think there was like this moment where you get to see him understand that no, Toranaga is the dude. And there's all this reverence about his existence. Just like the fact that he's there, you get to see that moment. And then of course, Yabushiga is like, the look on his face at the end is like, when all his guys get lit up, it's just like, he's just stunned and shocked. And he's just like everyone else, you just see this entire idea of him he's broken. He's like everything. He had this plan and it's just destroyed by what he believes to be like the incompetence of this young man, and whether it was a good move or a bad move can be kind of like debated. Was it just delaying the inevitable by destroying these men, or could something have been figured out, at this moment? Who knows? And it's kind of like, I think at this moment you're kind of expecting like everything to jump. At the end of this episode, you're like, oh, this is where everything's gonna like jump, and this is gonna be crazy. You like from this point, you're kind of like
everybody figures that's when the war's gonna come.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, and I think after this episode, you kind of like you start to really understand. Oh, this is a political thriller. Like
Rico even says at the end of the episode, she says it will be war.
Yeah. Like, and so you're like, oh, it's kicking off. Like, we're gonna get like a couple episodes of just like slaughter, which you don't end up getting. But like, I mean, I feel like you didn't really need it.
No, we talked about that during the episode recaps that the show did kind of like sell that you were going to get like an actual war, across a couple episodes or an episode or something, and we never got it. We ended up getting just a similar to House of the Dragon, like a character driven, dialogue driven, you know what I'm saying, like tension filled, thriller, political thriller, kind of like set in feudal Japan, right? That's what we got. but it still was fucking
I
awesome.
actually really enjoyed that. Like I enjoyed that they went that direction instead of just like we're gonna see me at like a hack and slash type of idea. Through the rest of it. I mean, it'd probably been cool to see some of those fight scenes, but it was also just really cool seeing like this political intrigue and essentially it was just a bunch of politicians essentially playing chess is what it was.
Just to some extent, yeah, it was. Wrath of Khan, so your thoughts on episode 4?
So I think episode 4, I think I've said this so many times, is the episode that best exemplifies how Toranaga-san is as clever as Toranaga himself. Even though like his actions may be like something that Toranaga later disapproved of, it was actually quite smart. And I actually liked how they just did the whole thing.
How did he manage to slip on that rope or whatever, whatnot, like Kim said or whatever?
No, dude, that was just an accident. That was Kim's fault, bro.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, who doesn't see a big rope?
Bro, he's just too busy trying to kill him. He doesn't look down, man. Like, would you look? Yeah.
There was no rope. There was no rope there anyway, dude. I don't know what the fuck Kim was talking about.
I think she misheard.
It was this gown and shit or whatever, whatnot that like.
Yeah.
There was no fucking rope there.
I know.
One of our guests about it when we recap that episode or whatnot, everything actually said something about like Nakano like slipped on a rope or some shit or whatnot, right? Like when he hit that rock and died. And so I was like, oh yeah, like one of the ropes from like the rope rock sex toys that like they had back then. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it was perfect. Dude.
Yeah. Oh man.
Jasmine, finish your point on your points on episode 4, sir.
Okay, so one part that I was very surprised by, and you already talked about, is where it's like, for 1 minute, okay, Blackthorn gifts guns to Fuji, and Fuji gifts swords, and it's like, okay, maybe they'll become more intimate, right?
Really good scene. Really good scene.
Yeah, and then you see Mariko just come in and like just pillows with Blackthorn. I'm like, what is this? How does Blackthorn accept this? How? Like, technically he's married to Fuji, but it's like,
no, he's not. Fuji's his consort.
I know, but it's a similar thing, like how like Toranaga's wives.
No, it's not. A consort is not the same thing as a wife in feudal Japan. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, but
that's why that's why they have the word wife and they have the word consort, right?
Oh,
like, there is a difference.
I thought they literally make it the same thing. Oh my god!
No,
okay.
Amato, am I not right? A wife in feudal Japan is not the same thing as the consorts.
No, they're not the same thing. No, like for example, when you see with Toranaga, he has his wife,
yeah,
and then he has his they essentially have consorts so that they can continue to
reproduce.
So they can continue to produce heirs, but not give the stress to the wife necessarily. So they're just essentially
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think Toranaga had altogether like six like combinations of like whatever they're called. He had wives and consorts. I think Toranaga. No, he had like 6 of them. I think Ashido said.
I thought it was 2. No, 2, right?
No, Ashido said he had 6.
The one you normally see is like his wife, and then there's a consort that's with them, and she's
all you see.
It's like she gives legitimate heirs, but they're just So
it was just the 2. That's what he had. He had the one wife, and then he had the one consort. Okay,
yeah, at least as we saw. I mean, maybe there were more like off screen, but like the 2 that we saw, there was a wife, and then there was the like consort.
Okay.
Yeah, because Ashido in episode 1 actually says something to him, like at the one time when he's at the regent meeting, he actually says to him like you've taken on 6. Or whatever, or consorts, or whatever, whatnot, or like got married, whatever. He says something like that. Anyways, yeah. I'm sorry. Go back to you, Jasmine.
Okay, and then this is my final point. So the whole like gore when you see like the cannons being fired. So before that, one thing that slipped in my mind is like I didn't even see Obi talking to men. Not Obi, Toranaga-san talking to his men, to prepare the cannons, to prepare like that whole surprise attack. So that whole surprise attack was just surprising and well done. And especially Yabu's like reaction. I think that was the priceless moment of it. I mean, the gore is like pretty great, but Yabu's reaction, he's like, "What is this?" Like, in a way, you could see that he kind of thought that he would have been next, to die, because he was collaborating with Jozen and Ishido's other forces. But you could just see that the crack of the two-sidedness of Yabu is like starting to appear. That's all.
Well, yeah, kind of. You're right. Yeah, because I mean, at first, like when he's playing both sides, he still seems like he wants to be loyal to Toranaga. That was
yeah.
It was like it was like if he had to pick one out of the two, it was Toranaga that he really had like loyalty to, not over Ishido, at least. That's what it seemed like. But then again, at the same time, as the series evolved, right, he started to become more concerned about his own welfare. Was what happened.
Yeah,
right.
And whether he will get caught or not.
So, all right, episode 5, Broken to the Fist, directed by Frederick E. Otoy, written by Matt Lambert. Toranaga returns to Ejiro with his army, learning that Nagato killed Jozen. He takes away his command of the cannon regiment, giving it to Obi. Bantaro returns from Osaka and moves in with Blackthorn and Mariko. During dinner, Blackthorn and Bantaro engage in a sake drinking binge. I forgot about that. A drunken Bantaro forces Mariko to tell Blackthorn about her father, Akichi Jensei, who murdered the predecessor of the Taiko. He was forced to execute his family before committing seppuku, and Mariko married Bantaro as atonement for his betrayal. Later that night, Mariko is assaulted by Bantaro, and Blackthorn confronts him outside. But Bantaro lays down his sword and apologizes for disturbing his home. Blackthorn later asks Toranaga for permission to permanently leave Japan, but after an earthquake buries Toranaga in a landslide, Blackthorn saves him. The following day, Miraji manages to convince Yabashiki and Omi that the gardener, Yujiro, who had been executed for disobeying an order from Blackthorn, was the spy they were searching for. In Osaka, the remaining regents attempt to decide who will take Toranaga's place in the council, but Ochiba soon arrives and reunites with her son, Yachio, or whatever the fuck, before telling Ishido that the council will now listen to her, which was pretty powerful. And I forgot all about Blackfoot and his bird and all that shit, whatnot, that Toranaga gave him. Go to you, Amato, on this one. Starting off on episode 5 to wrap up here, buddy. That's you, Jasmine.
I will say, so the ending, like the way that Lady Ochiba talks to Ishido in this episode is just like captivating. Like she is just like everything that she says like drips with like menace when she's talking. It's phenomenal. Like her like essential like emergence as a character in this episode is just like amazing, and you're just like she's just phenomenal in this moment, and you really get some of the ground. Well, you don't know it at the moment, but you get a lot of the groundwork of like what Mariko's real role in all this is. Like, they
did a really. I don't mean to cut you off, but they did a really great job casting her, that character. They did a really good job casting that character.
But yeah, like I said, like so you get, without really knowing a whole lot about it, you get like Oshiba's like eventual like where she leads and her connection to Mariko, but then you also get to see a little bit of like how Mariko ends up where she is and why she's in this situation. And you get to see a lot of like, this is a big episode for her, like her important still entire storyline, instead of just being a translator or, this person that's there or this love interest for Blackthorn. You got to see that she is really central to everything that's happening, and everything that has happened, in the entire like line of Japanese feudalism at this moment. So you really get to see how truly important she is, and it's in that moment with like Buntaro coming back, and it creates this situation of all this like these issues with well, like what is up with like Buntaro and Mariko? Like why is there so much? You get some of the answers to that. Like why is there so much like animosity between the two of them as husband and wife? Because you kind of got this like idea that the two of them are not very close, and this is the episode where you get to really understand how that came to be.
Okay, Jasmine.
So with this episode, it was in a way like not really a breath of fresh air, but it's like a low, because like the previous episode was like you had like the cannon fight and that type of stuff, like it was a low. So in a way, I kind of got the sense that like the whole Shogun series was like up and down. One thing that surprised me with the creators is they show a sequence where Buntaro actually commits domestic violence on Mariko. Like, I don't know. I just never thought they would actually add a scene like that in the series. But like when you see it, like it looks so real, like as if like you're witnessing it in real time.
It used to be somewhat common in cinema and whatnot, and in some TV series that you would see some straight domestic violence like that with men beating women. I've seen it.
Oh dang!
Before. Yeah,
it must be the older series because, like, I don't know. Growing up, I'm
not saying widespread, but I'm just saying Amato would tell you like I'm right. Like it's that you've seen it.
Well, especially for the character that they're trying to create at this moment with Buntaro and their relationship, because you're supposed to like at this moment you're kind of thinking about the fact that essentially Mariko cheated on her husband in this moment. So they're creating a situation of, okay, we need to get public favor back on her side. Well, you're not gonna like Buntaro because he's gonna beat her up in a way.
Mariko's no angel. She's not. Like she's no angel. With the whole Blackthorn Buntaro thing. But it lends to the authenticity, Jasmine, that they're trying to convey. Right back then, obviously in that time period of feudal Japan, husbands and men beating women was like a regular fucking, like, what I'm saying? Like it was a natural thing to do. Like they would just beat their wives and shit.
Yeah. I think just that alone, that's the part that like surprised me most in the episode. Yeah.
Well, you know what, sir? Unfortunately, some bad shit like that happens here and there,
I mean, even as a Gen Z, it's like it's
all good though, because him and Blackfoot shook hands and like slapped hands and shit.
I know.
At the end, so
and they pillowed, right? Yes.
Yeah, they pillowed and they shared a drink of water, a bottle of water together, or whatever, whatnot. So
yeah, like Fuji and Marco, they also pillow. Yeah, like you said,
everything's forgiven now. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. So all right. Okay, so final question. Season 2, right? We're gonna get a season 2. There's no way to fucking have any idea what the fuck it's gonna be, what they're gonna do, whatever. We know we got Blackfoot left. We know we got Toranaga left, right? We have several of the other characters left, right? Fuji's still there. Ashido's still around, right? Although I don't know how relevant he would be to have back in the still in the story.
I thought Ashido was gonna die because they turned on him.
Well, that's what I'm gonna ask. Is my question is just final question. I'll go to you. I'll stick with you, Jasmine, but I'll go over to you, Amato, and then we'll plug out of here and wrap up. What are your thoughts on the fact that they decided to go ahead and do a season 2 when this was supposed to be a limited series? And then, if you had to guesstimate kind of what do you think season 2 will be like?
So I think the decision to create a season 2 was a pretty bold move, but at the same time, I think we all like it. We like seeing feudal Japan. We like seeing the characters. We like the storytelling, okay? Like how they made the storytelling, which, it's very unique compared to like the other shows that we've seen. Like, I think they cracked the code for, a new Odyssey, let's just say. So, they're willing to double down on this, rather than take that framework and put into like a completely different show. They'd rather just double down on an existing passionate fan base. As for how season 2 will go, I do not think Blackthorn will be there because this first season, they try to stick to like, historical accuracy as best as possible. I do think season 2 might be inspired by the new Assassin's Creed
But based on taking into consideration that in the true story version of Shogun, like whatnot and everything, that Blackthorn character stays in Japan and lives in Japan and remarries all that shit and whatnot.
Oh,
he does. Yes, he decides to. He decides to.
He was in Europe, old.
No, that was a dream. That was a dream. He's the real character of Blackthorn is based off of and whatnot. Everything stayed in Japan for the rest of his life. He sent money back to England or whatnot to his wife for his children and shit and whatnot. But he remarried and had kids and whatnot with his own Japanese wife.
Okay, and we don't know if it's gonna be Fuji. Okay. Oh, I think season 2 is gonna be where we know who the wife will be.
I'm just saying it makes sense that Blackthorn he's still alive. Why would he not be in the show?
Oh,
I mean, he was one of the top 3 characters of that were the 3 major spokes of the show, right? You know, like the draw. Yeah.
I mean, they could like make every season where it's like you have a new foreigner come into the land. So it's like season 1, a European named Blackthorn. Season 2 could be an African, like how they're doing with Assassin's Creed.
We have no idea where they're going to go, but they could go in a lot of different places, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking Assassin's Creed though. Like that's what I'm saying. Hey, Justin's back.
Look who came back. Justin, you did that to come back, man.
Well, I got her to sleep, so she seems to be okay. So I think we're
good. Okay. Well, you came in right at the last time. We were just doing our final question on season 2.
Okay. I'm happy to contribute.
Jasmine, what else did you have to say about season? Again, we don't know much about what season 2 is going to be like. So, do you have any?
I mean, besides thinking they might just start implementing a Black Samurai like how Assassin's Creed did, I think it's likely. I mean, the creators have been watching your show, Jeff. You know, they've been watching about the Shaquille O'Neal stuff. So
it's possible. Yep.
So yeah, you know, they might contact you. Just saying.
There you go. Yeah, most definitely. You know, what do you think, Justin? Season 2, we don't know shit about it. You know, so I guess my question would be, at the very least, who do you think will be in season 2? Like, we have no way of knowing what the story is going to be. There's no way of knowing. So I'm not going to ask you to even go that far unless you want to. Who do you think at least will be the season?
Well, I think Blackthorn for sure is going to be another pivotal part of it as well. I think the season opens up with like a time skip of how Blackthorn is like fully like integrated into the world.
That's what I was explaining to Jasmine, is that like it makes sense based off of the true story, whatnot, and all that Blackthorn would be the central figure of the next season.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think it would be, I mean, interesting to see like him learn like more shinobi ways and like kind of get, I mean, more action heavy this second season. I mean, trust me, the storyline and the plot I thoroughly enjoyed this season, but a little more action would be awesome. I mean, samurais and shinobis and like all this stuff, like it would be incredible to see more of that take off.
Yeah, that actually would be dope to have like a more action packed, you know, like have like maybe an actual war or something. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot. That would be dope.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
I would enjoy that. To be honest with you, that would be really expensive to do, though. You know, I would imagine to shoot and all that and whatnot. But what do you think, Amato? What do you think at least season 2 will be about? Like, what do you think the main focus or the main characters will be? I mean, you know, out of what we have left.
So the way I'm kind of thinking of it is, I feel like they might have a little bit of time, and Toranaga has kind of consolidated power a little bit. And I think what it's going to be is the main antagonist is going to be the Portuguese. I think it's going to be about potentially trying to push out the Portuguese out of Japan. You know, and he'll have, I mean, Blackthorn's going to be very important in that. I think he'll be a very important character because they need that like mindset person who understands the Portuguese a little better of what they really are instead of what they are showing forward facing. And I would love to see like the Spaniard potentially kind of like scoot on over maybe, and maybe, you know, because I feel like although they weren't necessarily like friends, I feel like they had a camaraderie between them as sailors. and didn't necessarily have as much animosity towards each other. But I think that could be a huge, that could be the antagonist point of view, is where you see an issue between Toranaga and the Portuguese as he's seeing more what they really are.
Sure, because there were things that didn't get tied up at the end of the season, right? And honestly, I don't see how just the relationship on its own with Toranaga and Blackthorn on its face value, right, is another season, right? What else do you really need for season 2? But have that be the root, right, Amato? You see where I'm going with this? Them as the pillars, right? We lost Anasawi, so that's what we have left. Go off them.
And maybe even maybe the priest becomes a bigger character, and he has to make this moral judgment of he sees what the church is doing. He's been shown as such an honorable character. Does he have to make choices? Does he choose to be honorable or stick with his religion? That kind of thing. That'll be an interesting idea to see, how he would deal with that, with the way that his character was. I will say, we didn't necessarily talk about, you're talking about how this show isn't necessarily funny, but one of the funniest moments in the entire series was when the priest shows up and he finds out that his new church is going to be right next to a brothel. Hilarious. That's one of the best. That's probably the funniest scene of the entire show. Is that. I
love that. I love that character, Jin. She's great.
Yeah, Jin was great. Yeah, she was incredible. A very, very strong, madam, I'd say.
Yeah, bring Jin back for season 2. I'm telling you, seriously. If you think about it, guys, this my thoughts on it real quick. Honestly, in a way, if you look at episode 10. They almost set up a second season. They did. It's right there, right? You had Father Alvino and Blackthorn kind of get along there finally at the end. You know what I'm saying? At least it looked like there a possibility that over time maybe, right? Blackthorn could open up to Father Alvino and they could actually get along, right? Who knows where that could go? You know what I'm saying? The church is aligned now with Toranaga, right? So basically that's how it's going to go, right? Is that they're going to be more aligned with Toranaga. So it would make sense. I'm glad you brought it up, Amato. It would make sense that you would tie in the church and the Portuguese and whatnot, all that angle in with Blackthorn, right, into season 2. That again, that would fill a lot of space, man. There'd be a lot of episode. That'd be a lot of episode space. Just that dynamic and that angle alone, and now that Toranaga is the Shogun, right? He knows. Blackthorn showed him the map and did all that in that cool scene and told him the whole situation of what the Portuguese are really trying to do to Japan, right? And whatnot, everything, right? He's going to want to combat that, right? Yeah. Do something about that. So. There could be conflict there. You know what I mean? They left a lot left there in episode 10. They could bring Omi back very easily, right? Bontero you can bring back. Why not? A lot of people enjoyed Bontero in the series. Think what you want of him for beating up Rico. He was an interesting character. Mm-hmm. I liked it. I thought he
was redeemed.
Yeah, he did. He was redeemed. In a feudal Japanese way. I thought he was valuable to the series. Right? We still have Fuji. Right? She's just going to be a nun. So we get to see her in some fucking smoking hot Japanese nun outfit and shit, whatnot, which I can totally handle that. Right? I promise. Me and Shaq will slap hands. We'll do a high five. Right? On that shit. Instead it'll be hard for me to jump up there and slap his hand. Because I'm not very tall compared to Shaq. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. So why don't we end this shit? Since I'm not Jassim Wrath of Khan doesn't really have plugs because he doesn't make individual content. We will do plugs for the gentleman from the Royal Geek Podcast. And then we will get the hell out of here. And just thank you for coming back, brother. We appreciate you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate being here.
Here, I'll start off with your actual YouTube channel, right? And then I'll go to your pod like I did last time.
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah, we had a blast covering X-Men 97, which the finale wrapped, and so that's our most recent episode. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna plug is coming up this week. We have our 4-year anniversary and our episode 300. So we are if you really, yeah. If listeners out there want to really get to know us, we're doing like a listener Q&A. Like we've had a bunch of people like DM in questions and stuff, and we're gonna be answering all those questions on our pod this week. So we are thrilled and excited to just be able to keep doing this for so long. So having a good time doing it.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I most definitely agree with you, Amato, about you mentioning earlier about how outstanding the writing and everything in X-Men 97 has been this year. We're a week behind because we chose to review it at one episode at a time and not do the first 2 episodes of one show. So I haven't seen. I'm at episode 9 to watch, right? So I haven't got that's as far as I've gone, but it's a great show. It's very good.
Yeah, top notch.
You know, just not live action. Animated is different. Is a different television.
It is.
You know, it is.
Yeah.
But no, they did a great job. X-Men 97 is strong. You know, like it's definitely a win for Marvel Studios without question.
Oh, easily, yeah, easily.
You know, and I haven't looked into it, but from what I understand, from what I've been seeing in like, you know, the rumor mill on YouTube recently, they're going to rush putting, you know, X-Men, 98 or whatever out. It's like basically as soon as possible.
I heard they were already in like post-production for season 2.
Yeah. No, they're going to pump it right back out and whatnot, everything. We've talked about it before and whatnot on the show, on the Monday shows, about how the MCU, you know, and Disney want to start to push more in an animated direction with the Disney Plus series, as far as the live action ones and whatnot, because they're cheaper to make. You know, it's the live action ones that cost so much money. But folks, that is our Shogun Part 1 recap of season 1, right? We finished episodes 1 through 5. Next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. As of right now, I've got Gerald Glassford coming on from the Pop Culture Cosmos, and hopefully Imran from Jock and Nerd is going to come on, and we're going to go ahead and rock out Part 2, and we're going to break down episodes 6 through 10, right? And I'll ask, you know, whoever I have on next week, basically the same questions I asked these gentlemen. But thanks for coming on, guys. I really appreciate it. You know, we appreciate everybody that caught the show live. We appreciate everybody out there that catches this in video form. I hope you found us entertaining this evening and somewhat informative. And, you know, God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time, which will be Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, to do X-Men 97 episode 9 with myself and Andres, the pop culture guy. Oh, and on Wednesday, we'll review Back to the Future 2. And Friday, we have Fallout episode 7. 2 episodes of Fallout left, Rathacon.
I'm coming the finale.
That's right. I remember. I wrote it down.
Good.
All right, folks. We'll see you later. Peace.
I'm here today to meet the woman of my dreams. I've been talking to this girl on the internet for a while. I've actually been trying to save some money to go see this woman.
Did you talk to her online?
I go to the library, believe it or not, to talk to this woman. I met her on MySpace, and she's a very beautiful woman. She's tall, skinny, she's redhead, very beautiful woman.
Why don't we do...
No one's going to marry you, Haranam. Like, you have a beard. No one's going to date you, Haranam. You have a beard. No one's going to be your boyfriend, Haranam. You have a beard. You are not a preference to a lot of men. And then I'll get like really feminine men message me, but that's not who I'm attracted to. Hannah, I like really masculine men because I am very soft. I'm so different to what you see like on TV. You know, on TV.
I've never seen you on TV.
I mean, not, but no, generally you'll see. Oh, she's.
What
strong,
the fuck is she talking about on TV? What the fuck does that mean?
Say, but then at home, I'm very quiet. You know, I'm
fuck?
very feminine. I'm very soft. People don't get to see that side of me. You know.
Where on TV?
It has been difficult. Where I wanted to be married.
She says she's soft, but the beard